Chapter 691. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. 2 shameless people, drinking any kind of wine. I don't want this kind of wine. Give me another jar. Ling Long looked at Night Sorrow and Yun Huang with disdain. Night Sorrow took out 3 jars of wine. The 3 of them went to the wooden boat and started drinking and chatting. This is a good thing. Night Sorrow, now that you're the young master, at least we don't have to worry about some powerful people coming out to bully us in the future. Haha. Yun Huang said happily. Indeed, Yun Huang and I have never thought about being the young master. However, if someone else becomes the young master, it will be troublesome for us. Should we listen to them or not? If we don't, we'll be disobeying them, Ling Long said. Haha. We just have to do our own thing. There's no need to think about other things, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The 3 of them drank for a while and returned to Night Sorrow's mansion. Lin Yuandao and Hua Haining were there in Night Sorrow's mansion. Well, the 3 of you have a deep friendship and can fight side by side. This is a good situation, Lin Yuandao said with a nod. Our captain is thinking too much. If someone else becomes the young master, we might not be convinced, but our captain is fine with it, Ling Long said. It's good that you're all fine with it. Elder Hua and I will go back first. You 3, if you need anything, come find us at Tianji Tower. Also, there are other members of Tianji Tower and the God-slaying squad. You 3 take good care of them, Lin Yuandao said and left Night Sorrow's mansion with Hua Haining. Soon after, Yun Huang and Ling Long also left. They had come to see Yishang to express their attitude. They wanted to show that their friendship would not be affected by Yishang taking over as the young master of the Empyrean Terminus Tower. After everyone left, Night Sorrow told the 3 girls about what happened at the headquarters of Tianji Tower. 2 high-grade spirit spears. 13, you're really something. Yang Lei patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said. Then, Night Sorrow talked about how he had taken over the position of the young master of Tianji Tower. Haha. We're all from Tianji Tower. If Sha Dan is the one in charge of Tianji Tower in the future, we'll also have a headache. With the power in your hands, at least we won't be bullied. Sikong Chuyu was also very happy. Oh, forever, too free of charge. Read, L Novel, 13, now that you've entered the Exalt realm, you should organize everything you've learned in the past. Only then would you be able to develop steadily. Aoi said. She was the calmest of them all. I understand. I should focus on stabilizing my cultivation for now. However, I still have to go into seclusion first. My body's cultivation has also reached the critical point of a breakthrough. Night Sorrow glanced at his body and said. I really have to hand it to you. You've improved so quickly in all aspects. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said with some emotion. After drinking tea for a while, Night Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room. After taking out the spirit jade stone stool that contained life energy, Night Sorrow sat down cross-legged and placed the 2 spears on his legs. Then, he took out the black tortoise spirit crystal and began to cultivate. The advancement of the myriad Tao tome was relatively easy. As long as there was enough energy in the body, it would naturally advance. Night Sorrow cultivated naturally. At the same time, he nourished the 2 spears on his knees. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, he also naturally refined the 5-colored light in his body. That was the heavenly Tao's compensation after the lightning calamity. It was helpful to him in all aspects, and it was a fundamental help. It increased the density of his true qi, the strength of his tendons, meridians, flesh, and bones. His soul power was also stained with some of the 5-colored light, making his soul power more complete. In addition, it also strengthened the walls of his dantian and spirit sea. After half a day, Night Sorrow's myriad Tao tome entered level 8 of the Tao querying realm. Not only was the energy of the myriad Tao tome stronger, but Night Sorrow's body was also strengthened. His strength had also increased. His essence chi smoke had also reached more than 5 zhang. After the advancement of the myriad Tao tome, Night Sorrow did not come out of seclusion. He stabilized his cultivation and cultivated at the same time. He communicated with Shao Kong to help him. That was to continue cultivating his soul power and bloodline power. His true chi and myriad Tao tome's cultivation were stabilized and settled. After cultivating for half a month, Night Sorrow came out of seclusion. After coming out of seclusion, his mental state was extremely good. It could be said that he could be considered a true honorable now. His cultivation had stabilized, and his battle skills and movement skills had also caught up with the rhythm. Night Sorrow came to the training ground where the god-slaying squad was cultivating. He drank tea and watched everyone cultivate. During the interval of drinking tea, Night Sorrow asked about the situation of the resources. He was only relieved when he heard that there was no problem with the resources. Night Sorrow was very tired of Night Sorrow. After cultivating for a while, she would run to Night Sorrow's place to chat. Seeing that everyone was cultivating in full swing, Night Sorrow greeted Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi before returning to the secret cultivation room. This time, Night Sorrow was cultivating with a specific purpose. His true chi and myriad Tao tome were naturally stabilized. While the time-space treasure pagoda was assisting him in cultivating his soul power and bloodline power, Night Sorrow took the desolate stone and started cultivating. He wanted to absorb the energy of the desolate stone to strengthen his power of desolates. Usually, Night Sorrow did not have such an opportunity. This was because he usually held the black tortoise spirit crystal to cultivate the myriad Tao tome. Now that the myriad Tao tome needed to be stabilized, he could spare some time. Night Sorrow cultivated day and night. He had 4 desolate stones, and he needed about 10 days to refine each desolate stone. When Night Sorrow did not come out of seclusion for more than a month, Yang Lei felt like scolding him. Ninth junior sister, calm down. Night Sorrow is cultivating, not seclusion. Don't worry. Looking at Yang Lei who was pacing back and forth, always said. That's right. If he's not in seclusion, why can't he come out and rest? Doesn't he know that others are worried? Doesn't he know that he has a family? Yang Lei said angrily. Sometimes, he has some enlightenment. How can he stop when he has enlightenment? Alright, sit down and have a cup of tea. Aoi pulled Yang Lei to sit down and poured her a cup of tea. I'm not angry at him. It's just that he doesn't cherish himself. It's too tiring. Yang Lei took a deep breath and said. Sikong Chuyu did not say anything. She also felt the same. She did not want Night Sorrow to be too tired. Just as the 3 women were drinking tea, Night Sorrow came out. After more than a month of seclusion, Night Sorrow finally strengthened the power of desolates in the 4 desolate stones. The power of desolates in his body had also strengthened by a lot. It could be said that his arms were now filled with power of desolates. However, the amount was not enough. He was unable to convert the myriad Tao treasured book's attributes. Night Sorrow's goal was to accumulate power of desolates and convert the myriad Tao treasured book's attributes. However, Night Sorrow also had some concerns. The myriad Tao treasured book contained power of desolates. If he cultivated according to his current cultivation method, would it work? Once the energy was converted, what would he do if he could not absorb the energy from the Xian turtle crystal and blood spirit turtle crystal? If he could only rely on the power of desolates, where would he find so much power of desolates? Looking at Night Sorrow, who had his head lowered, the 3 women stood up. Chapter 692. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. We provide you with interesting novels to read. It's refining the desolate stone. It's refining it in one go. After sitting down, Night Sorrow was still thinking about it. He was still confused. Can't you come out and rest before going into seclusion to cultivate? Yang Lei stared at Night Sorrow. I'm sorry. I lost track of time while cultivating. Ninth senior sister, sixth senior sister, Chiyu, please don't be angry. I didn't do it on purpose. Night Sorrow stood up and smiled apologetically. Then, he poured tea for the three girls. Even if you want to be angry, you can't. However, you have to cherish yourself. Cultivation requires hard work, but we are really worried about you. Yang Lei said. Be careful. I will be careful in the future. Night Sorrow said. You have been thinking about it. Did something happen? Sikong Chiyu asked Night Sorrow. I am a little confused. I don't know how to deal with it. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything from the three girls and told them about the current situation. This is indeed a worrying problem. Your myriad Dao treasured tomes attribute has changed, so your combat strength will increase. However, without the absorption of the power of desolates, your body tempering cultivation will remain stagnant. Then, the losses will outweigh the gains. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Love go little say netku, that's what I am worried about. Night Sorrow nodded and said. 13, can you do this? Fuse a little of the power of desolates into the energy in your body and observe it slowly. Maybe your body's energy will have the characteristics of the power of desolates and it won't hinder the advancement of your cultivation, Qing Ji said. Sixth senior sister, you mean to increase the quantity of the myriad Dao treasured tomes energy and use the power of desolates as its quality. Night Sorrow's eyes lit up. Give it a try first. If it works, you can fuse with it. The smoothest outcome is that your body tempering cultivation level will not be delayed. The improvement of the energy quality requires the power of desolates. Aoi nodded. Night Sorrow stood up and walked a few steps away. However, he soon came back and smiled at the three girls in embarrassment. Why aren't you leaving? Why don't you go and cultivate? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow, her eyes already smoking. No, I'm just warming up, Night Sorrow explained with a smile. If you dare to cultivate now, I will immediately tear down your secret cultivation room, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. Then, he suggested that they go to the lake to roast fish and drink wine. The three women were satisfied with this suggestion. Then, they went to the wooden boat by the lake. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Tianyu, who was originally resting here, was very happy. He kept being intimate with Night Sorrow. Get me a few big fish. Night Sorrow patted Tianyu's neck. After receiving Night Sorrow's signal, Tianyu flew directly into the lake. Soon, 2 fish were caught by Tianyu. After cleaning them up, Night Sorrow roasted them. I've been in seclusion for a month. What's the situation outside? Could it be that it has quietened down? Nothing's going on, Yang Lei said. The moon is very round. Is it the day to pay respects to the ancestors of the Yi family? Night Sorrow said. Tomorrow is the day to pay respects to the full moon. Last month, the 3 of us went to pay respects on your behalf, Sikong Chiyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. Thank you for your hard work. I'll leave it to you to take care of such things. After that, they ate the roasted fish and drank wine while chatting casually. Night Sorrow had not been so relaxed for a long time. 6th senior sister, when can we reach the venerable realm? Shirsan runs too fast. We can't catch up to him even if we try to catch up. Yang Lei, who was already at the peak of the 6th level of the void inquiry stage, gave Night Sorrow a glance and said. Why are you two still in a hurry? I'm not even in a hurry. Aoi said with a smile. When sixth senior sister reaches the third level of the void inquiry stage and eats the void extreme pill, it will be very fast for you to advance to the fourth level of the void inquiry stage. Sikong Chuyu, who was also at the peak of the sixth level of the void inquiry stage, said, "Everyone, don't be in a hurry. Cultivate slowly. Your foundation must be stable." Night Sorrow said, "Aren't you embarrassed to say that to us? Why don't you cultivate slowly?" Yang Lei glared at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled embarrassedly. Speaking of this matter, he felt a little guilty. "Ninth junior sister, you've already scolded him a few times. Shirsan has been accompanying you with a smile. How about this? Let's go to Night Moon City tomorrow. Shirsan, you can also relax. It's no big deal to postpone your cultivation for a while." Aoi said. Night Sorrow nodded. He also understood that he needed to spend some time with the three ladies. 13th junior brother, I'm sorry. 9th senior sister is a little excited. Yang Lei suddenly felt that she was a little strict. No matter what, Night Sorrow was the young master of Night Moon City and the young master of Tianji Tower. It was not appropriate for her to yell at him. Night Sorrow did not mind. It would not be good if others heard it. "It's nothing. I really didn't spend much time with you," Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei did not say anything. However, she knew that she had to change. Although Night Sorrow did not mind, it was not the same as before. The few of them chatted and drank until midnight before returning to the mansion. Night Sorrow sent Aoi back to the mansion first. "Sixth senior sister, if there's anything, just tell me. I'm a little careless." "Very good. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Go back and accompany the two of them." Aoi hugged Night Sorrow and returned to the attic to rest. When Night Sorrow returned to the mansion, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu were still there. "Since you haven't left, then don't leave." Night Sorrow held each of their hands and entered the bedroom. The red candles burned and the gauze curtain swayed. The room was filled with charm. 4 hours later, the three of them stopped fighting. 13. I only said a few words to you today and you took revenge. My body is about to collapse. You almost took it apart. My waist is a little numb. Yang Lei muttered unhappily when she saw Night Sorrow coming out of the bathroom. Night Sorrow smiled. You were the one who kept yelling. Weren't you afraid? What could I do to you? Now you know that your waist hurts. That's right. I can prove it. Ninth senior sister was yelling very loudly just now. Sikong Chuyu, who was combing his hair, said. That's so embarrassing. Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's meditate and cultivate. Yang Lei sat down cross-legged and began cultivating. Sikong Chuyu combed his hair and also entered a state of cultivation. Night Sorrow also began to meditate as he watched the two girls cultivate. While he was meditating, his pair of spears were placed on his legs. Q latest chapter T verse O previous, after washing up and eating breakfast in the morning, Night Sorrow and the others went to the martial arts arena. He was going to Night Moon City. However, before he went, he wanted to see how his brothers were doing with their cultivation. When they saw Night Sorrow, the members of the god-slaying squad cupped their hands and greeted him. Xueling, Ho Jian, is everyone alright? Night Sorrow glanced at the members of the god-slaying squad and asked the two vice-captains. No problem at all. Everyone has mastered the technique of using energy. Xueling took a step forward and said. Chapter 693. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. There's no problem at all. During this period of time, 6th senior sister has also been refining pills for us. Nan Liu stood up and said. That's right. Nan Liu stood up and said. Okay, that's good. Also, if you're worried about your family or the sect, you can go back together. If you encounter any difficulties, just let me know, Night Sorrow said. Seeing that Night Sorrow was done dealing with the god-slaying squad, Yunhuang walked over to Night Sorrow's side. This is the holster I made for you. Try it on. It'll be more comfortable to carry. As he spoke, Yunhuang took out a holster that was half a foot long. It was hollowed out. Newer new percent fastest, Jup, UZ, not bad, it looks beautiful, Night Sorrow said as he took the gun from the holster. It's designed to be hollowed out so that the weapon can be nourished by the energy leaking from the body, Yunhuang explained to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow then put the gun holster on his back and inserted the two guns into it. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow brought Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi to Night Moon City. When the citizens of Yeus City saw Yishang and the others, they all bowed in greeting. After what had happened during this period of time, Yishang's prestige in Yeus City was extremely high. Everyone knew that the current situation of Night Moon was brought about by Night Sorrow. They also knew that their young master had risked his life to investigate the situation in the alternate dimension in order to stabilize Night Moon. Night Sorrow and the three girls sat on the beast carriage and walked around the city on Night Moon. They even had some food in a restaurant. Night Moon City feels very comfortable, very different from the hustle and bustle of other cities, Sikong Chuyu said. Indeed. It gives off a very peaceful feeling. Look at the many people walking on the streets. There are also vendors on both sides of the street, but no one is making a ruckus. The quality is indeed very good, Yang Lei said. That's why we have to learn from 9th junior sister, Aoi said with a smile. 6th senior sister is here again. I'm trying to change it now. Yang Lei said. After eating some food, Night Sorrow paid the bill despite the restaurant's refusal. Night Sorrow then called for a beast carriage. Night Sorrow's heart skipped a beat when he saw the carriage driver because he recognized him. Without saying anything, Yishang brought the three women onto the beast carriage and rushed towards Yiwatian. Then, Yishang saw flying beasts in the sky. Night Moon City allows flying mounts. Night Sorrow asked. Yes, it happened half a month ago. Because our young master's brothers and friends cleared out all the high-level demonic beasts in the wilderness and deep mountains near Night Moon City, flying mounts are allowed in Night Moon City, the carriage driver said. Night Sorrow, let's use flying mounts then. Yang Lei said. So you all have flying mounts. Then I'll stop by the side, the carriage driver said with a smile. No. I'll take the beast carriage today, Night Sorrow said with a wave of his hand. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow with some confusion, but she didn't ask. Night Sorrow must have his reasons for making such a decision. Even if there wasn't a reason, she had to accompany him. Love go go shao shua 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 w, ai chux. Xiaomon Night Moon City, Night Sorrow got off the beast carriage and handed 2 high-grade spirit stones to the carriage driver. No, just 2 low-grade spirit stones will do, the carriage driver shook his head and said. Uncle, when I first came to Night Moon City, I took your beast carriage to go to Night Moon City. At that time, you took half of the fare and said that you hoped that I wouldn't blaspheme the Night Moon City. Therefore, the glory of the Night Moon City is defended by you all. Night Sorrow is grateful. Night Sorrow bowed to the carriage driver. Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi also cupped their hands to the carriage driver. They understood why Night Sorrow still wanted to take the beast carriage even after knowing that flying mounts were allowed. Night Sorrow. You are the young master. Young master, please don't be like this. The carriage driver hurriedly bowed in return. Take these spirit stones and cultivate diligently. The glory of the night moon still needs to be defended by everyone. Night Sorrow stuffed the spirit stones into the carriage driver's hands. Take it. Night moon is honored to have citizens like you all. It is also the glory of the night moon. Yilingxia appeared and nodded to the carriage driver. Night Sorrow waved at the carriage driver again and brought the three girls to follow Yilingxia to Night Moon City. When they arrived at Yilingxia's residence, Yilingxia wanted to make tea, but Yang Lei took the teapot away. Sixth uncle, you don't have any servants here? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. Sixth uncle doesn't need them. I usually sweep the courtyard and take care of the flowers and plants. It can also be considered as a form of cultivation, Yilingxia said with a smile. Here are the spirit stones. Sixth uncle, please take them first. The medicinal pills will have to wait. I don't have time to study alchemy recently. Later, I will refine a batch of medicinal pills. Night Sorrow took out 2 storage rings and handed them to Yilingxia. Night Moon is currently on the right track. There is no shortage of resources and it will slowly enter a virtuous cycle. Our Night Moon citizens can live a hard life. You can keep the resources. Yilingxia pushed the storage rings to Night Sorrow. It's still enough for me. The people of Yi are able to live a tough life. They've endured for so many years, but since we've decided to stand up again, we can't let them live a sullen life anymore. Just like the coachman uncle today, the Yi family has the responsibility and obligation to let them live a better life. Night Sorrow said. Back then, it was the carriage driver uncle who had taught him his first lesson. The glory of Night Moon was in everyone's hearts. That's good. Sixth uncle will take it. You're right. Our Yi clan owes them. Yilingxia nodded. Also, contact the Yi clan again. If there is anything we need, just tell us. If we can do it, we will do it. If we can't, we will do it. Night Sorrow expressed his attitude. I just contacted them. Right now, the upper echelons of the Yi clan are in seclusion. Some of the disciples have also entered a state of frenzied cultivation. There is no need for us to worry. Yilingxia shook his head at Night Sorrow. After that, Night Sorrow and the others chatted casually with Yilingxia. Yilingxia also told Night Sorrow about the Yi clan situation with the spatial fissures. It wasn't much different from Wuling phase analysis. The cultivation path was almost the same. The only difference was that the Yi clan members had strengthened their cultivation in this area since they were young. In the Sea of Night Moon, there was a cultivation treasure land with strong spatial attributes. The Yi clan members all cultivated their foundation there. Because of the spatial energy, the Yi clan members' talent was strengthened at a young age. This also let Night Sorrow know why his bloodline talent was activated late. It was because he had started late. You don't have the help of the blessed land, but you still cultivate the spatial fissures very well. Yilingxia smiled at Night Sorrow as he spoke. I was taught by Auntie Faye. Otherwise, I would only know that the bloodline talent would increase my battle strength. I didn't even know about the existence of a unique talent, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 694. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with interesting novels to read. Later, I'll go to the Sea of Night Moon to cultivate the spatial crack technique and see if I can do it or not. Night Sorrow said. All right. Sixth uncle will accompany you then. Yilingxia nodded. Night Sorrow had entered the venerable realm and awakened 5 innate bloodline energy points, which allowed him to cultivate the authentic spatial crack technique. When the moon rose, Yilingxia brought Night Sorrow and the others to the stone tablet in the night moon sky. At this moment, there were many people gathered in front of the stone tablet in the night moon sky. The administrators of Wuyo City, Wuimo City and other cities who had teleportation formations had all arrived. When they saw Night Sorrow and Yilingxia, they all bowed to greet them. Yilingxia waved his hand. There's no need for so much etiquette. Burn incense for the heroes of the Yi clan who died in battle. First, Knight Sorrow brought Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi to burn incense in front of the stone tablet. Then, Yilingxia brought some venerable realm experts of the Night Moon Sky branch and the administrators of the other cities. For forever exempt $W fee look, little number 0 say 1y, our young lord has already killed countless venerable realm experts when he was just at the 5th grade void inquiry stage. Now, he has even entered the venerable realm. He is worthy of being called the king of the night moon. With such a young lord, why would we need to worry about the night moon standing at the top of the 9 regions again? Therefore, everyone can relax and cultivate. Yilingxia looked at the people of the night moon who were paying their respects to the Yi clan's martyrs and said. After hearing Yilingxia's words, the people of the night moon bowed to pay their respects to their young lord again. Knight Sorrow doesn't deserve everyone's respect, but as long as I'm here, I'll fight whoever dares to bully my night moon and humiliate my night moon. Knight Sorrow declared. After hearing Knight Sorrow's words, the people of Night Moon became excited again. The people of Night Moon didn't lack courage. Now that there was a young master with courage, how could they not be excited? After paying his respects, Knight Sorrow was stopped by Gu Jun. He hoped that Knight Sorrow would take a walk around Wuyo City. Knight Sorrow greeted Yilingxia and brought the 3 girls to Wuyo City. After meeting some people from the city lord's mansion of Wuyo City, Knight Sorrow took the 3 girls to walk around the city of Wuyo. Wuyo City. The name is beautiful and so is the city. Before the war, uncle and auntie must have lived a happy life here. Aoi said emotionally. This place will be even more beautiful in the future. If you like, we can build a mansion here. Knight Sorrow said. We can come if we want. It's convenient to have a teleportation portal. How can we manage so many mansions? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Then we'll do as you say. Knight Sorrow said. After that, the few of them walked around Wuyo City. Seeing that the girls were tired, Knight Sorrow called for them to ride their mounts back to the teleportation portal. After greeting Gu Jun, they teleported to Night Moon City and returned to the city in the sky. After returning to the mansion, the few of them sat down and chatted. Although Night Moon is still recovering, his spirit is very good. The heart of glory is in everyone's heart. This is indestructible. As long as he doesn't die, his faith will be there. It won't be a problem for him to rise again. Aoi said. I understand. In that case, all of you can cultivate however you want. I'll try to integrate the power of desolates into the myriad Daos tome later. Also, I'll go to Night Moon Sea with 6th uncle to cultivate the spatial crack. After I'm done with this, I'll accompany all of you. 9th senior sister, don't be angry. Knight Sorrow said. 13. 9th senior sister has a straightforward temper. She might be a little arrogant. However, I'm not blaming you. I just feel sorry for you. Don't be angry. After hearing Knight Sorrow's words, Yang Lei's eyes became a little moist. This was because she knew that her attitude had affected Knight Sorrow. However, Knight Sorrow was still willing to accommodate her and not make her unhappy. I know that 9th senior sister, 6th senior sister, Chuyu, all of you are doing this for my sake. I'm not angry. There's only warmth in my heart. Knight Sorrow stood up and hugged Yang Lei. We're all a family. No one will be angry at anyone. Sit down and drink some tea. Knight Sorrow, just take care of yourself in the future. Sikong Chuyu stood up and poured tea for everyone. I know. Currently, the problem with the power of desolates needs to be solved. The other thing is to cultivate the spatial crack. In the future, I won't have anything to do. I'll accompany all of you every day. Refining pills and roasting fish by the lake will be easy. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to the secret cultivation room to study the power of desolates. Sixth senior sister, did I bring a lot of pressure to 13? Yang Lei looked at Aoi and asked. That's not it. 13 is working very hard. We just need to give him some pointers and subconsciously influence him a little. For example, we can take him to the streets or take him out to play. That way, our goal will be achieved. After all, 13 cares about us, so he won't refuse our suggestion. Qing Ji expressed her opinion. Sixth senior sister is still the most experienced. I have to learn from her in the future. Yang Lei exhaled and said. Night Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room. He took out the spirit stone of life and sat on it. After placing the 2 spears on his legs, he began to cultivate. Night Sorrow first separated a strand of power of desolates into the myriad Tao treasured book's energy. Then, he slowly dispersed it. Following that, he quickly circulated the myriad Tao treasured book's energy. After that, he began to absorb the energy of heaven and earth to cultivate naturally. He carefully observed whether the myriad Tao treasured book's energy was still increasing. After observing for a while, Night Sorrow didn't feel much. He directly drank 2 drops of spirit of life liquid to cultivate. As he cultivated the myriad Tao treasured book, Night Sorrow felt that the myriad Tao treasured book's energy was still increasing. Feeling that it wasn't affected, Night Sorrow continued to disperse the power of desolates into the myriad Tao treasured book's energy. As he poured the power of desolates into the myriad Tao treasured book, Night Sorrow tried his best to raise the myriad Tao treasured book's cultivation level. At the same time, he observed the changes in the myriad Tao treasured book's energy. Once something happened, he would stop. Time slipped away bit by bit. The power of desolates in Night Sorrow's arms decreased as it merged into the myriad Tao treasured book's energy. The myriad Tao treasured book's energy was still increasing. It didn't fall into a deadlock because of the change in the power of desolate's attribute. Such a situation made Night Sorrow feel more at ease. To be honest, he was a little afraid. Whether it was the myriad Tao treasured book or the power of desolates, they were both his trump cards. They were his foundation. If anything happened to either of them, it would have a huge impact on him. It could even affect his future cultivation. After a night, Night Sorrow's power of desolates had completely merged with the myriad Tao treasured book. This caused the myriad Tao treasured book's cultivation level to rise to the late stage of level 8 Tao querying realm. What made Night Sorrow the happiest was that the myriad Tao treasured book's cultivation level was still increasing with the help of the spirit of life liquid. After sensing his body, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. After calming himself down, he left the secret cultivation room. Chapter 695. Genius 1 second remember love/go/little. Shuanet provides you with wonderful novels to read. Without caring about anything else, Night Sorrow circulated the power of the myriad Tao tome and struck an ancient tree in the mansion with his palm. Genuine first release K-square root. As Night Sorrow struck with his palm, the image of time flowing appeared on his palm. Following that, the ancient tree withered, aged, and died. Good! Night Sorrow roared. What are you doing? Sikong Chuyu was shocked by Night Sorrow's roar. Success, the fusion is a success. Although the power of Desolate's attribute power has decreased compared to before, the attributes are still there. Now, as long as I have energy in my body, my attacks will contain the power of Desolate's attribute attack. Night Sorrow said excitedly. That's great. It can be considered as solving one of your problems. Aoi walked over and said with a smile. Sixth senior sister's suggestion is still the best. Night Sorrow hugged Aoi and kissed her on the cheek. After the kiss, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. Aoi's face was also red. She did not expect such a situation. Sixth senior sister, I was a little excited. That was abrupt. Night Sorrow said embarrassedly. What are you trying to explain? Kissing your fiancé is a normal thing to do. Yang Lei said with a smile. I'm so happy. Sixth senior sister's suggestion helped me solve a big problem. In the future, I won't have to be distracted by two types of energy. The cultivation of the myriad Tao tome will not be delayed. In the future, when I have desolate stones, I can use them to improve the quality of the power of desolates in the myriad Tao tome. Night Sorrow said. Everyone was happy that Night Sorrow's problem was solved. They ate breakfast happily. However, Aoi blushed every time she saw Night Sorrow. After breakfast, the three girls went to the martial arts practice field. They had already become used to following the team to cultivate. Yishang also followed them to the martial arts practice field. After sending the three women to the martial arts practice field, Yishang waved at the three women and went to the lake to cultivate. Night Sorrow did not want to be special. He was afraid that his cultivation state would affect the others. After all, the gap was too big. It would be easy to attack the others' confidence. When Yishan cultivated his spear art and movement technique, as well as his actual combat ability, he used the reincarnation spear. This way, he could cultivate the strongest destructive power. While cultivating his senses, Night Sorrow held the Space Splitter Spear and cultivated the compatibility between him and the Space Splitter Spear. This way, his doppelganger would be able to use it in the future. In the evening, Yishang didn't wait for the girls to find him. Instead, he went to the martial arts practice field and waited for the three girls to finish their cultivation so that they could go home together. Delivery in the morning and pick at night. Captain, your fiancé is simply a model. I'm so envious. Ling Long said with a smile. You can do it in the future too. Yishang, who had brought the three girls away, waved his hand and said without turning back. Ling Long, did you notice? Captain's mood is very high. It's rare to see him like this. Yun Huang said with his arms crossed. It should be because Captain has made new achievements in some aspect or solved some problems. It's rare to see him in this state. Ling Long nodded and agreed with Yun Huang's point of view. Every day was like this. Night Sorrow would send the three girls to the martial arts practice field and pick them up at night. Night Sorrow, aren't you going to cultivate the spatial rend? You should go find sixth uncle. When you're done, you can come and accompany us. That way, we can enjoy your transportation with a clear conscience. Sikong Chuyu said while eating dinner. Yes. Although we enjoy this kind of life, we can't delay your matters. Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow nodded. I've almost mastered the spatial rend. It won't take long to learn from sixth uncle. Then go tomorrow. Come back early when you're done cultivating. I haven't cooked in a long time. I'll cook when you come back, Yang Lei said. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow sent the three girls to the martial arts practice field. Then he left Sky's city and went to Yilingxia's mansion on the night moon. You're here. Let's have a drink first. Then we'll go to the night moon sea. Yilingxia had just returned from patrolling the city. Seeing the night moon city recover quickly, he was very happy. After drinking a jar of wine, Yilingxia brought Night Sorrow to the night moon sea. Night Sorrow, we Night clan members cultivate the spatial rend here. In a moment, sixth uncle will demonstrate it. You can watch and then sixth uncle will explain it to you. Yilingxia said. Seeing Night Sorrow nod, Yilingxia activated his bloodline talent. The spatial rend energy rose behind him and slashed towards the night moon sea. As the spatial rend energy moved forward, the spatial turbulence was cut open. Then Yilingxia stretched out his arm and controlled the spatial turbulence to not close. After cutting open the space, use the sovereign's unity of heaven and man to prevent the spatial turbulence from closing. Then use your bloodline talent to protect yourself. You can enter. After explaining, Yilingxia pulled Night Sorrow and used his bloodline talent to envelop the two of them and entered the Night Moon Sea. Then Yilingxia controlled his body to move through the spatial turbulence. The energy of other attributes will be consumed very quickly here. However, our Night Clan member's bloodline talent is of the spatial attribute, so the consumption is very small. If we encounter spatial turbulence that we can't avoid, then we'll continue to slash. While explaining to Night Sorrow, Yilingxia used the spatial Ren to move forward. After a while, Yilingxia brought Night Sorrow out of the Night Moon Sea and returned to the Night Moon Sea. Then sixth uncle, let me try. Night Sorrow said. Take it easy. In the history of our Night Clan, the weakest who can use the spatial Ren to move through the spatial turbulence is a mid-level sovereign. Yilingxia said to Night Sorrow. However, he wasn't worried because with him by his side, there wouldn't be any danger. Nodding at Yilingxia, Night Sorrow used the spatial Ren against the Night Moon Sea. Then he used his sovereign realm strength to control the spatial turbulence so that it wouldn't close. After maintaining his bloodline talent to protect himself, Night Sorrow charged into the spatial turbulence. Yilingxia was worried about Night Sorrow's safety, so he followed closely behind. Night Sorrow's protective energy transformed into the polar moon wheel and cut through the spatial turbulence. Only when he encountered something he couldn't avoid would he use the spatial rend. After drifting through the spatial turbulence for a while, Night Sorrow and Yilingxia left the Night Moon Sea and returned to the Night Moon Sky. Not bad, this is talent. What you lack is the cultivation of your bloodline talent. As the quality and quantity of your bloodline talent increases, the spatial rend won't be a problem for you at all. However, don't tear through space and enter directly for the time being. It's still dangerous. After all, your cultivation is still a bit low. Yilingxia said excitedly. He was really happy. He only gave some pointers to Night Sorrow and there wouldn't be any problems. Is there a big difference between tearing through space and tearing through spatial turbulence? Night Sorrow asked. Chapter 696. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I understand. It's fine as long as the direction is right. I'll slowly cultivate, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Sixth uncle doesn't need to worry about you. Also, if you have any problems, you can tell me. You're already the young master of Tianji Tower. If the elders of Tianji Tower hadn't told me about such a glorious thing, I wouldn't have known. Yilingxia thought of another topic. I didn't really want to do it. After all, it's inevitable that Night Moon will fight with the other dynasties. But Master Lin Ke and Grand Elder didn't think it was a big deal, so I didn't refuse. After all, it would hurt my reputation. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and gave it to Yilingxia. He also opened one for himself. Just let nature take its course. It's nothing much. However, to be able to become the young master, this is your ability. You should know that the family has not helped you at all. They have always been a burden to you, said Yilingxia. Sixth uncle, don't say that. When I first came to Night Moon City and met the coachman uncle, I felt that such a family is worth fighting for. Even if I die in battle, I won't have the slightest bit of resentment, Night Sorrow said. Then sixth uncle won't say anything. Also, I've reported to the family that you've become a venerable. As for what your title will be, I don't know, Yilingxia said. Don't worry, I don't care about that. Also, Elder Ling Lan and Elder Ling Yuan will have to follow the rules of the clan when they break through to the Exalt realm. We'll also have to apply for their titles, said Yishang. He didn't want anything that would disappoint them. Yilingxia told Night Sorrow that he had already reported everything to the family. He didn't know when the family's arrangements would be made. In addition, the family had also given instructions about the situation in Yuexiang City. Everything should be done according to Night Sorrow's wishes. However, Night Sorrow shook his head. No matter what, those people are my seniors. I can't casually criticize them. It's better to wait for the family to come back first. Then we'll do as you say. If we don't deal with them, we'll be letting them off easy. You want to stay out of this. You really don't have Night Moon's character. At the mention of Yuexiang City, Yilingxia's heart was filled with anger. He was even a little afraid. He was afraid that the actions of the people of Yuexiang City had chilled Night Sorrow's heart. If Night Sorrow really didn't care, then Night Moon wouldn't be in this situation now. Original K version first. Release / after that, the two of them arrived at the central area of the Night Moon sky. Now, the hall behind the monument had been built. Currently, it was the main hall of the Night Moon dynasty. There were still people handling things inside. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. Xiong Night Sorrow and Yilingxia sat on the steps in front of the hall and drank wine. Yilingxia told Night Sorrow about Night Moon's past. They are very arrogant now, but in the past, no matter which dynasty they were from, when they came to our Night Moon dynasty's territory, they had to be obedient. They had to think twice before looking up at the sky because that is the sky of our Night Moon, Yilingxia said very heroically. It will be like this in the future. If anyone comes to our territory to look up at the sky, we'll beat them until they lower their heads, Night Sorrow said. This temper of yours, haha. Sixth uncle likes it. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. Calm, Yilingxia said with a smile. As long as you're alive, you can't lack strength of character and pride, Yishang said. This is the main reason why Emperor Shenxian's bloodline can control the family. It is because of this dominance. Emperor Shenxian is like this. Brother Wang Linghuan is also like this. Nephew Wuyu looks gentle and quiet, but when he explodes, he is very terrifying, Yilingxia said. I think it won't be long before we can see them again. Night Sorrow was still thinking about his parents. Don't worry, they are all well. Your parents are Night Moon's outstanding talents. They are also the pride of Night Moon. It won't be long before we can see them again, Yilingxia said. Yilingxia was also a good drinker. He and Night Sorrow were both in a good mood, so they started drinking. They drank until the afternoon, when the two of them were drunk. There was a row of wine jars on the steps. When Night Sorrow woke up, it was already morning. He and Yilingxia had already been carried back to the mansion. The two of them each had a recliner and slept very comfortably. The wine is good. Although I drank a lot, I feel refreshed when I wake up. Yilingxia stretched lazily. Ha! Sixth uncle, whenever you come to Sky City, there will always be good wine to serve you, Night Sorrow said. Alright, let's go back. Otherwise, your 3 daughters-in-law will be worried. Yilingxia waved at Night Sorrow and began to chase him away. Night Sorrow bowed to Yilingxia and left behind a jar of wine. Then he left Yilingxia's mansion and took the transportation array back to Sky City. After arriving at the martial arts arena, Night Sorrow waved at Sikong Chuyu. Come, make a pot of tea. Sikong Chuyu came to Night Sorrow's side and sniffled. What happened to you? He drank too much. He slept for half a day and one night with sixth uncle. He drank so much that he didn't know anything. He was probably carried back to the mansion. Yishang said with a hiccup. You guys are really gods. How did your cultivation of the spatial crack go? Yang Lei came over and patted Night Sorrow's back. I succeeded. That's why sixth uncle is so happy and drank wine. You guys go cultivate. I'll drink some tea to sober up. Night Sorrow smiled. Watching everyone cultivate, Night Sorrow drank tea to sober up. As his body circulated his true qi and the myriad Tao's treasured tome, and his soul power circulated, the effects of the alcohol naturally passed. At night, Night Sorrow brought the three women back to the mansion. You're back. Night Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei inside the mansion. Aunt Fei, you came out of seclusion. Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead and asked. I've been out for a few days. I went back to the Eastern Profound Domain to have a look. Then I went to the Tianji Tower and got some news, Wu Lingfei said. What news? Does it have anything to do with us? Night Sorrow asked. It does, but it depends on your decision. To be precise, one of the three imperial cities, Haotian City, has appeared. However, it's still in the spatial turbulence and hasn't completely appeared yet, Wu Lingfei said. Haotian City, this name sounds very domineering, Night Sorrow said. The most important thing is that there is a heaven-sealing palace in Haotian City, which can give titles. As long as a cultivator enters the venerable realm, they can enter the heaven-sealing palace. If they are recognized by the heaven-sealing palace, they will be titled venerables or saints, Wu Lingfei said. Is this important? Aunt Fei, don't you have the title of Golden Phoenix? Senior Xia is the everlasting saint, Night Sorrow said. It's not like that. The titles that we cultivators call each other are just code names for convenience. However, the titles given by the heaven-sealing palace are recognized by the heavenly way and have luck. The meaning is completely different. They are two different things. The difference is like heaven and earth, Wu Lingfei said. It seems that Aunt Fei has to go once. Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei and said. Chapter 697. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I'll go, but I still have to figure out the situation. The others are all venerables and saints. I'm only a first-level venerable, so I might be at a disadvantage, said Night Sorrow. If you want to go, then go with Auntie Fei. I think there are many people from our celestial extreme tower who want to go as well. The appearance of Haotian City is a huge blow to the 9 regions world, Wu Lingfei said. When do we leave? Asked Night Sorrow. There's no hurry. Haotian City is still at the border of the Desolate Sea and the Domain Sea. It will take some time for it to appear, said Wu Lingfei. What's going on? The disappeared imperial city has reappeared. Night Sorrow still couldn't understand. This is a chaotic world, a great chaotic world. You still don't know that in addition to the Venerable of Time from Ji-Yu's family, the Venerable of the Dead has appeared in the Western Nether Territory, and the Venerable of Wind and Fire has appeared in the Southerly Territory. Therefore, the competition among the younger generation is very fierce. Everyone wants to be the young king of this era, said Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that he was very outstanding, but the 9 regions world was so big, and there were many geniuses. He was not the only one. Also, you should know a person called Su Mu, right? Asked Wu Lingfei, looking at Night Sorrow. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, yes, I know him. He was a former disciple of the Medicine Valley, but I don't know where he went. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said. He had a deep impression of Su Mu because Su Mu was very strong at that time. He had competed with him for the title of the new king of the Medicine Valley. He had killed Su Wang, but he really didn't know anything about Su Mu. That guy is also very powerful now. He also got a heaven-defying opportunity and became a disciple of a saint. He threatened to kill you, said Wu Lingfei. Kill me. Ha! Let him come. I was able to beat him up once, so I can beat him up twice. But if he provokes me again, it won't be as simple as just beating him up, Night Sorrow said with a laugh. He's currently under the Silver Dusk Sage's tutelage. It should be the remnants of the Golden Flame sect who brought him to the Qingtian region. Perhaps he was discovered by the Silver Dusk Sage by chance and became the Silver Dusk Sage's disciple. In addition, he has comprehended the ultimate earth attribute, the strength attribute. We can't underestimate him. Wu Lingfei slowly explained Su Mu's situation to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. In his heart, he had never underestimated any opponent. Why didn't 13 just crush him to death back then? Aunt Fei, what is that fellow's cultivation? Yang Lei asked. Late void inquiry stage. His innate talent is astonishing. In addition to the opportunity and the nurturing of the Silver Dusk Sage, his growth is naturally fast. However, the Venerable Realm is a huge threshold. Night Sorrow has already crossed it. He still has to slowly catch up. You don't have to pay too much attention to him. Wu Lingfei said. Su Mu's matter was discovered by the Tianji Tower. Because Su Mu was too outstanding, he caught the attention of the Tianji Tower. However, after some investigation, they gave up on recruiting him. The Silver Dusk Sage treated the Tianji Tower as an opponent. Therefore, it was impossible for the Tianji Tower to recruit her disciple. Besides, Su Mu's temperament was also a problem. After telling Night Sorrow about Su Mu, Wu Lingfei told him about the situation in Hao Tian City, mainly about the heaven-conferring Great Hall. The three imperial cities, Hao Tian City, Su Dao City and the Central State City, were the three most prosperous cities before the ancient Conferred Gods War. After the Conferred Gods War, Hao Tian City and Su Dao City disappeared. No one knew the whereabouts of the two imperial cities. The only imperial city left, the Central State City, was also left in ruins. Your time and space pagoda seems to have been found in the ruins of the Central State City by the former city lord of the Qingtian region. Elder Xia said that it seemed to be damaged at that time. Its current state should be self-evolving. Wu Lingfei said. I see. Hao Tian City sounds more domineering than the Central State City. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Among the three imperial cities, Hao Tian City is ranked first. The heaven-conferring Great Hall is also located on the Hao Tian Mountain of Hao Tian City. According to the ancient records, the heaven-conferring Great Hall was a mystery during the ancient times. No one knows its origin. They only know that after entering the palace, different tests will be set according to the level of the challenger. Those who successfully pass the tests will be given a title. This is also the reason why all the cultivators of the 9 regions want to have a title. 3 imperial cities. I don't know how prosperous the 9 regions were back then, but no matter how glorious they were, they couldn't withstand the erosion of time. Night Sorrow said with some emotion. Yes, the 3 imperial city lords were all Saint Kings. Hao Tian Saint King, Su Dao Saint King, and Central State Saint King. However, after the Conferred Gods War, there was no news of them. Wu Lingfei said. As for the heaven-conferring Great Hall, Wu Lingfei's knowledge was limited. After all, it was too ancient and was a secret to the people of today. Okay, you continue to cultivate. Aunt Fei will inform you if there is news. You don't need to rush to improve your strength. Improving your combat power is very important. Challenging the heaven-conferring Great Hall depends on your actual combat power. Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei left, and Night Sorrow fell into deep thought. I say, what kind of world is this? Why can't people be at peace? Sikong Chuyu poured a cup of water for Night Sorrow and said. We're caught up in a chaotic world. There's nothing we can do about it. Let nature take its course. We'll deal with whatever comes our way. Night Sorrow sighed and said, let's just ignore these things and cultivate in Sky City. What nonsense is this? Yang Lei said. If it's ordinary, then we can't ignore it. However, we can't ignore this. Titles are related to the fight for fate. I've read in the ancient records that fate is very important. It can directly affect one's achievements. Without fate, you'll lose the favor of the heavens. Nothing you do will go smoothly. 13's cultivation is smooth, and he's obtained a lot of resources. He's also helped the Medicine Valley rise and helped Night Moon stabilize the situation. This is all related to 13's fate, always said. Yes. 9th senior sister, Chu Yu, I have to go. Many things will change when the title Great Hall appears. Getting a title is one of them. Haotian City has disappeared for countless years. This is the first time it appears. It's hard to say what will happen. If there's an opportunity, we'll have to fight for it. Don't the Western Nether region and the Southerly region both have powerful young warriors? Let's try and see who's stronger. As for that Sumu, I think he's a hidden danger, Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu nodded and stopped talking. They also knew that this matter was very important. They only said those words because they were worried about Night Sorrow. 13, that Sumu is cruel and merciless. He's not a kind person. He's hostile to you. If you have the chance, kill him, Yang Lei said after thinking for a moment. Chapter 698. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. You don't have to worry about me. So what if I go? I'm going to the Heaven Ceiling Palace to get recognition. There won't be any danger. Besides, can it be more dangerous than the Supreme River Space? There are so many advanced venerable nether beasts in the Supreme River Space. They can't do anything to me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13, we know your strength very well. We can't help but worry. Yang Lei sat beside Night Sorrow and said. I know. We don't even know when we'll leave. There's no rush. I'll strengthen my combat skills and abilities in the next few days. I don't believe there's any venerable level test that I can't take. Night Sorrow was very confident in himself. Then, Night Sorrow changed to a more relaxed topic and chatted with everyone. After dinner, Night Sorrow didn't cultivate. Instead, he sat quietly with the 3 girls at the top of the mansion and watched the night sky as they chatted. They chatted until late at night before they went to rest. Yi Shang also had a comfortable sleep. After getting up, Night Sorrow held the Space Splitter Spear and cultivated the feeling of becoming one with the spear. Night Sorrow was building a foundation for his clone. As long as his original body and the Space Splitter Spear were high enough, his clone would naturally be able to use it. After the clone reached completion, it would have all the combat skills and abilities of the original body. It could even be said that its comprehension of the realm was the same. The energy it absorbed from the world was the same as the original body. However, Wu Lingfei told Yi Shan that the recovery of the avatar wasn't something that could be done in a short period of time. She had spent a lot of time on it. Currently, Yi Shan had taken this step ahead of time, but it was hard to say when he would succeed. After cultivating the spear art for a while and getting a feel for it, Yi Shang sent the 3 girls to the martial arts practice field to cultivate after eating breakfast. After the girls joined the team to cultivate, Night Sorrow waved at Yun Huang. Captain, I don't dare to help you level up that sky-piercing spear of yours right now. Let me familiarize myself with the refining techniques. Yun Huang said somewhat embarrassedly. That's not why I called you. It's something else. I'll tell you about it, and you can decide for yourself. Night Sorrow then told him about what had happened in Haotian City. Go. How can I not go? I, the demon prince, have to get a title, right? Otherwise, when we go out in the future and people ask about it, I'll be so embarrassed. Yun Huang patted his shoulder and said, "What are you two talking about? Is there some shady business going on?" Exquisite also walked over. "You're about to enter the venerable realm, so you should know about this." Night Sorrow then told Exquisite about what had happened in Clear Sky City. F***ck. It's such a big deal. Then I'll hurry up and break through to the venerable realm as soon as possible. Captain, you're so mean. If I didn't ask about it, you wouldn't have told me. Exquisite glared at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. The main reason is that I don't want to give you pressure. I plan to tell you when you enter the venerable realm. Clear Sky City hasn't appeared yet. Maybe you'll advance to the venerable realm before it appears. I'll tell you when I get there. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Okay. I believe that. I really have to work hard. I plan to go back to my family and enter the ancestral land of my family. Before Clear Sky City appears, I must enter the venerable realm. Exquisite looked at Night Sorrow and said. Okay, then come back early. Yun Huang, aren't you going back to your family? Night Sorrow asked. I'll go back and see if there's any useful news from my family. This way, we won't be in the dark when we go there. Yun Huang said. Then, Yun Huang and Exquisite both left. Yun Huang was born in a dynasty that had been passed down for countless years, so his starting point was high. Similarly, Exquisite was also born in a big family. However, Night Sorrow didn't ask about it. He didn't want to intrude on their privacy. In addition, Night Sorrow also recognized their strength. In front of Night Sorrow, the two of them were relatively weak. However, when facing other cultivators, they could absolutely crush those of the same level and kill those of a higher level. Otherwise, the two of them wouldn't have been valued by Tianji Tower. Lei Bao, Ho Jian, Lei Jing, and Nan Liue all had the strength to fight those of a higher level. However, they had only reached 1-star and 2-star in the celestial level assessment. Yun Huang and Exquisite were stronger than them, which meant that they were much stronger than ordinary cultivators. As for the new geniuses, regardless of whether they were outstanding or not, because of their background, they weren't recruited by the Celestial Terminus Tower. Seeing that Yun Huang and Exquisite had left, Night Sorrow also went to the lake and began to cultivate. Night Sorrow's main direction of cultivation was to integrate spear techniques and body movements into battle to increase his combat strength. Occasionally, Night Sorrow would also cultivate the Destruction Fist, the Desolation Hand, and the Mysterious Jade Hand. In addition to the Mysterious Jade Hand, Night Sorrow's Destruction Fist and the Desolation Hand were invaded by the power of time. Because Night Sorrow's body was strong, his fist and claw techniques were extremely sharp. With the help of the power of desolation, his attack power was also extremely explosive. Every evening, Night Sorrow would go to the martial arts arena to wait for the three girls. After watching everyone cultivate that day, Night Sorrow clapped his hands. Xueling, Ho Jian, there's nothing to say about everyone's combat strength. The joint attack of the array is also very smooth. Next, shorten the actual combat training time and increase the time to cultivate the foundation. Understood. Ho Jian and Xueling both nodded. Also, there's the problem of resources. Liue will give the brothers whatever resources they need. We can't delay the brothers' cultivation progress because of the lack of resources. Night Sorrow looked at Nan Liue and said. Captain, don't worry about that. Nan Liue said. That's good. If you have nothing to do, you can also take them out to fight with demon beasts, accept Tianji Tower's missions and so on. However, safety is the most important thing. Liue, distribute these storage rings. Night Sorrow threw a few more storage rings to Nan Liue. He had previously fought alone and killed a few city lords, so he had obtained some more storage rings. Night Sorrow brought the girls back to his residence. When it was time for dinner, Ho Jian, Lei Bao, Lei Zheng, Nan Liue, Ho Qingjie, and Qin Jin arrived. "Are you guys here to eat?" Night Sorrow greeted them with a smile. "It's just that we haven't drunk together for a long time. I miss the days when we fought together. The gap between us is getting bigger and bigger." Sigh. Lei Bao said with a hint of disappointment in his voice. First, Lei Bao, you have to remember that we are brothers. Brothers for life. You don't have to think about anything else. The same goes for you guys. When you have nothing to do, you can come and drink with me. Don't think about nonsense all day. Night Sorrow looked at them and said, "You have to know that the God-slaying team is a team. Night Sorrow can't ask you to drink alone, but you can come over." Yang Lei said, "That's true. We didn't think it through." Lei Bao said as he patted his head. "But we still have to work hard when we need to," Yishan said with a smile. Chapter 699. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. We will provide you with interesting novels to read. After drinking some wine, Lei Bao and the others returned to the God-slaying team's camp. Love go little say, Chu, they are all very outstanding. However, when they meet 13, Yun Huang, and Ling Long, they seem to be lacking. Ordinary cultivators are far from them, Oi said. That's why being in the same generation as 13 is a tragedy for all geniuses. Don't look at the undead Venerable in the West Nether region, Venerable Fenghua in the South Li region, and that bird Su Mu. They are all tragedies, Yang Lei said. Ninth junior sister is now full of admiration for 13. It's almost to the point of blindness, Aoi said with a smile. It's not blindness. It's trust because our 13 has the ability to do so, Yang Lei said with a smile. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. Now that his foundation had stabilized, Night Sorrow wanted to cultivate fully. He was looking forward to the effect of cultivating the myriad Tao tome to the spirit refinement realm. That was equivalent to the venerable realm. Currently, no one in the 9 regions world could cultivate the body to the venerable realm. On the other hand, Night Sorrow was also working hard to refine the void fate pearl. This was his greatest secret and also his most powerful treasure. Once he refined it, Night Sorrow would be able to control the void fate pearl. The additional power and benefits of being the master of a space were simply immeasurable. Love go little say, Chu all cultivating, Night Sorrow still placed the 2 spears on his lap and used his leaked energy to nourish them and cultivate their compatibility with each other. Night Sorrow held the black tortoise spirit crystal in his hand to assist in cultivating the myriad Tao tome. The spacetime pagoda was fully open to assist in other aspects of cultivation. After cultivating until dawn, Night Sorrow got up and washed up. Then, he began to cultivate his spear art and stretched his body. After eating breakfast, Yishang brought the girls to the lakeside to cultivate. After listening to Night Sorrow's words yesterday, the focus of everyone's training was on the basics. Because of their combat ability, everyone's training was more or less the same. Generally speaking, one had to find a place with dense spirit chi to cultivate. However, Night Sorrow and the others didn't need to do so because they had enough resources. As long as they could cultivate in a pleasant place, that was enough. Night Sorrow was working hard to raise the cultivation level of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome. He was heading towards the 9th level of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome. Back when Night Sorrow had fused the power of Desolates into the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome, his Myriad Tao Treasured Tome's cultivation had reached the late stage of level 8 Tao Querying Realm. After a few days of cultivation, he had already reached the peak of level 8 Tao Querying Realm. While he was meditating, Night Sorrow felt that the opportunity for a breakthrough had arrived, so he immediately began to break through. Aoi and the other two girls cultivated until evening. When they were about to go back, they saw that Night Sorrow didn't wake up and notice Night Sorrow's condition. "This guy can break through at any time," Yang Lei said with some emotion. After that, the girls went inside the wooden boat. They drank tea and chatted while guarding Night Sorrow. When dawn arrived, Night Sorrow had also completed his breakthrough and raised the cultivation level of the Myriad Tao Treasured Tome to the 9th level of the Tao Querying Realm. When Night Sorrow got up to stretch his body, Tianyu stopped moving again. "You guys have broken through one after another. All of you are very strong," Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow was very happy. Tianyu had reached the peak of the void inquiry stage. His strength would also improve. Besides, he was not far away from the Venerable Realm. While cultivating his spear technique, his cultivation base and his compatibility with the space-splitting spear, Night Sorrow was guarding Tianyu. In the afternoon, Tianyu successfully broke through. After displaying his speed on the huge lake, Tianyu returned to Night Sorrow's side and acted intimately with Night Sorrow. After that, he accompanied Tianyu for a while to let Tianyu stabilize his cultivation base. Night Sorrow and the girls continued to cultivate. Night Sorrow also needed to adapt to the increase in his combat power brought about by the increase in his body's toughness and strength. However, in the evening, Night Sorrow still followed the girls back to the mansion. He wanted to spend more time with them now because he was going to leave again after some time. The days were quiet. Other than cultivating his foundation, Night Sorrow also practiced his spear technique. In addition, Night Sorrow's soul power was also improving rapidly. The crescent moon blade of the soul extinguishing slash was also becoming more and more solid. When he finished cultivating his spear technique again, Yunhuang returned. However, he did not manage to find any information about Clear Sky City and the Heaven-Conferring Palace. There were almost no records about the ancient times. "Don't worry, let nature take its course," Night Sorrow said. He did not expect Yunhuang to bring back any information. After all, it was very difficult to find clues and records about the ancient times. "Ling Long didn't come back?" Yunhuang asked. "No, I don't know when she will come back. I don't know about Ling Long's matters." Night Sorrow shook his head. "Then we will wait. Also, your sky-splitting spear has finished its upgrade. It is now a basic spirit artifact." Yunhuang took out Night Sorrow's sky-splitting spear and handed it to Night Sorrow. "Very good, its strength is not bad," Night Sorrow said with satisfaction after receiving the sky-splitting spear and waving it twice. "I was worried that my skills were not good enough and that I would break it, so I asked the seniors of my family for help." "How embarrassing," Yunhuang said embarrassedly. Night Sorrow waved the sky-splitting spear again and said, "This is nothing, but I am still very grateful to you, brother. You can rest assured when using it in the future. Otherwise, if it is not strong enough, I will always be worried that it will break." After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Yunhuang left Night Sorrow a few jars of Yun Dynasty's good wine before returning to the pavilion where the god-slaying team rested. Ling Long only returned after more than 20 days. However, she was already a Venerable Realm cultivator. "You are good. You went back once and took the most important step," Night Sorrow said in shock. He felt that Ling Long was originally a little weaker and needed some time to become a venerable. However, Ling Long had already cultivated to the Venerable Realm. "I am still a little weaker, but when I returned to my family's ancestral land, I used the ancestral land's formation and the family's secret method to forcefully raise my cultivation to the Venerable Realm," Ling Long said. Equals only C*1 ton original. Others are all C*CN/pirated%. Let's go back. You and Yunhuang should spar a bit more. Train more in actual combat and stabilize your cultivation, Ishan said to Exquisite. After bidding farewell to Night Sorrow, Aoi, and the other girls, Ling Long left. Ling Long's family must be very powerful. They can actually help Ling Long directly raise her cultivation to the venerable realm. That's amazing, Yang Lei said. The Dark Mountain tribe is an ancient race. It is normal for them to have some strange secret methods, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow nodded. The 9 regions world was vast and boundless. Some of the ancient races were very powerful and terrifying. That's good. When you go to Clear Sky City, you will have companions. It will reduce some of the pressure, Aoi said. That's not a big deal. Challenging the Heaven Sealing Palace is a personal matter. We can't help each other, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow knew about the title. It depended on the individual's ability. They had to be recognized by the Heaven Sealing Palace. They could not fight in a team. That's true. It is the recognition of the heavenly Tao. You can't take any shortcuts. It is completely based on your strength, Aoi said. Chapter 700. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. Go. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow cultivated diligently, as did Yun Huang and Ling Long. They fought fiercely every day to practice their combat skills. Night Sorrow wasn't in a hurry. He cultivated quietly while waiting for news from Wu Lingfei. After another half a month of quiet cultivation, Wu Lingfei came to the lakeside. Sikong Chuyu made tea, and Wu Lingfei told him about the current situation. Haotian City had completely floated up from the realm's sea, but no one could approach it, not even a saint. That was because most of the destructive energy in the spatial turbulence was of the highest attribute. Even a saint couldn't withstand it. Doesn't that mean Haotian City is of little value right now? Who can get close to the destructive energy? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Not exactly. As time passes, the energy will weaken. You can still approach it, Wu Lingfei explained. I see. When do we set off? Night Sorrow asked. Anytime. Now, all the forces are stationed on some islands in the periphery of the sea. Tianji Tower also occupies an island. It won't be inconvenient for us to go, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Then I can go anytime, Night Sorrow said with a nod. Aoi, Yang Lei, and Chu Yu, if you want to go, you can go too. Take it as an experience, Wu Lingfei said with a smile when she saw that Aoi and the others couldn't bear to part with Night Sorrow. We can go too. That's great. Yang Lei said excitedly. Wu Lingfei nodded and said, the island Tianji Tower occupies is not small. There are demon beasts and materials on it. Your god-slaying squad can also go there to gain experience. After that, Night Sorrow went to gather the members of the god-slaying squad. Then, they took the teleportation array to Haohai City in the Qingtian region. From now on, you guys won't be able to use your mounts because this realm's sea will attack venerated realm experts and void inquiry stage cultivators who are cultivating their spirit sea. Get on the flying ship. Wu Lingfei waved her hand and a flying ship that was 20 zhang asterisk, 3. 33 m per zhang, long appeared in front of everyone. Night Sorrow then led the group into the sky ship. Wu Lingfei installed the spirit stones and controlled the sky ship. At the same time, she taught the members of the god-slaying team how to operate the sky ship. This thing is a treasure. Ho Jian said with some emotion. It's not easy to make a flying ship. Normally, only the King City's City Lord Manor has one. Night Sorrow, refine this and you'll be able to control it. Wu Lingfei threw a crystal to Night Sorrow. Auntie Fei, is this appropriate? Night Sorrow asked. It's appropriate. Our Eastern Xian region still has 2 sky ships. It's enough. This sky ship doesn't belong to the Eastern Xian region. It's one of Auntie Fei's battle spoils. Auntie Fei is a saint now. She doesn't need it. Wu Lingfei shook her head at Night Sorrow. After listening to Wu Lingfei's words, Night Sorrow refined the crystal. Night Sorrow also gained control of the sky ship. After flying for a day in the direction that Wu Lingfei pointed out, the group arrived at an island. Then, they landed. There were a few big tents on the island. After Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow to arrange for them to set up camp, she brought Night Sorrow, Yun Huang, and Ling Long to the big tent in the middle. In the big tent in the middle, Night Sorrow and the others saw Xie Lanjun, Lin Yuandao, Gua Shao, Le Trinsuan, and Tai Shu Yen. It could be said that all the higher-ups of Tianji Tower were there. 3 venerables of the younger generation. This is very good. Xie Lanjun looked at Night Sorrow and the others with satisfaction. After greeting each other, Night Sorrow and the others went out of the tent. Wu Lingfei also followed them out. Do you see it? That's Haotian City. The surrounding islands are stationed with experts from various regions and forces. At present, there are no experts below the Venerable Realm here. Our Eastern Xian region's people are also on the east side of this island. Long Xianqing is also here, but he doesn't like to meet people. You can go and meet him because he said so. Wu Lingfei said. Then, under the leadership of Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow went to meet Long Xianqing. Very good. It hasn't been long since I last saw you. You have cultivated to this level. It's very rare. Long Xianqing looked at Night Sorrow and said. Senior, thank you for taking care of Night Sorrow that day. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said. He knew who Long Xianqing was. He was the dragon turtle king that he had met in the Eastern Ice Sea. At that time, he didn't make things difficult for him and even gave him a lot of Xian turtle crystals and blood spirit turtle crystals. Night Sorrow was very grateful. It's nothing. Your body is also close to the Venerable Realm. It's very amazing. You are also a person favored by the heavenly Tao. If you work hard, you will definitely have extraordinary achievements. I have high hopes for you. Long Xianqing nodded at Night Sorrow. Then, Long Xianqing asked Night Sorrow a few more questions. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow left Long Xianqing's tent. Because Wu Lingfei and Long Xianqing still had things to talk about, Night Sorrow returned to the camp of the God-slaying team. Domain Lord, Night Sorrow is extraordinary. If everything goes well, he will have extraordinary achievements in the future. You must pay more attention to him. Long Xianqing said to Wu Lingfei. His cultivation talent is very high. In addition, he is also very hardworking. It is very rare for him to cultivate to this level in a few years. Wu Lingfei said. He has the origin energy in his body. This is a fact. The void attribute is also a supreme attribute. If everything goes well, his achievements will be immeasurable. He will surpass you and me. Long Xianqing said. Senior, you know that he has the void attribute. Wu Lingfei was very surprised. Because if one didn't fight and didn't use their energy, it was very difficult to discover the attribute. Night Sorrow had hidden it very well. So far, no one had discovered it. Yes, this is a special ability of mine. The supreme attribute has never appeared before. If he can enter the Great Title Hall, he will definitely get a title. At that time, he will have the luck to support him. He will be even more amazing. Heroes emerge in troubled times. Long Xianqing said with a sigh. There are many young experts in the West Nether region, South Li region, and Qingtian region. Even the time attribute venerables have appeared. Wu Lingfei was very worried that Ji Yuhao would be a threat to Night Sorrow. This is a chaotic world, and heroes are born in chaotic times. However, not everyone can become the king of heroes. You don't have to worry about it. Just wait for the appearance of Clear Sky City. I hope that our Eastern Profound domain will be able to obtain something. I also want to go in to look for something. Long Xianqing said. Senior, do you need my help to find something? Wu Lingfei asked. No need. If that thing is in Clear Sky City, I can naturally find it. If it is not, then no one can help. Long Xianqing said. Is it very important? Wu Lingfei asked. She wanted to help Long Xianqing because Long Xianqing was the mainstay of Eastern Profound region. Chapter 701. A genius remembers love in 1 second. I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. After that, Long Xianqing did not hide anything from Wu Lingfei. He had received instructions from the remnant soul of his ancestor. His ancestor had fallen in Clear Sky City, perishing together with his opponent. In Clear Sky City, his shell was the Xuanwu sacred armor. Wu Lingfei nodded. She understood that she could not help in such a matter. Domain Lord, the birth of Haotian City will be accompanied by a storm of blood. The Tianji Tower is upright and generous, but it is hard to say about the saints of other domains. So, you must be careful. Some ordinary spiritual treasures are not a problem, but if a sacred treasure appears, it will be a life and death battle. Long Xianqing said to Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei understands. Thank you for your advice. Wu Lingfei said. Long Xianqing had watched her grow up in the East Snow Mountain. He was worthy of being called a senior. Pay attention to the Western Nether region. There were 3 experts on the continent. One was Yi Tian of the Night Moon Dynasty, and the other was the heavenly underworld saint of the Western Nether region. Under such circumstances, it is impossible for him not to come. He is an extremely selfish person. He can do anything. Long Xianqing said. Is he very strong? Wu Lingfei asked. Very strong. He was injured by me once in the past, so it is certain that he will be hostile to our Eastern Xian region. This is also a disaster caused by me. Long Xianqing said. I see. But it is nothing. Whoever dares to provoke our Eastern Xian region, we will fight to the end. Wu Lingfei said. Yi Shang returned to the camp and entered the tent that Ma Zhuang and the others had prepared for him. Then, he brewed a pot of tea. However, he still couldn't calm down. Long Xianqing was a huge dragon turtle. This had a huge impact on him. Looking at Night Sorrow, who was in deep thought, Aoi and the others did not disturb him. After drinking a pot of tea, Night Sorrow's mood stabilized. According to Wu Lingfei, life could not be divided into human and demon beasts. It should be said that they were different races. Then, Night Sorrow called Xueling and Ho Jian, and let them lead the god-slaying team freely. Then, Night Sorrow briefly explained the situation to the 3 girls. So that senior helped you before. How unexpected, Sikong Chuyu said in surprise. Yes, back then, he didn't make things difficult for me and even gave me resources. It's clear that this senior is very open-minded, Night Sorrow said. 2 hours later, Wu Lingfei returned. Night Sorrow, let's go. Auntie Fei will take you to the beach. Night Sorrow nodded and followed Wu Lingfei to the beach. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs.com. This is the border between the Desolate Sea and the Realm Sea, so there are no attacks from the Realm Sea. Let's take a closer look. Wu Lingfei wrapped Night Sorrow in energy and rushed towards Clear Sky City, which could only be vaguely seen from the island. Did Clear Sky City rise from the sea? Night Sorrow asked curiously. Wu Lingfei nodded and said, yes, this may be fate. For example, the formation loosened, or the seal was broken, or it sank to the bottom of the sea. Because of some changes in the energy at the bottom of the sea, it led to the birth of Hao Tian City. They were still some distance away from Clear Sky City, but they couldn't get any closer because they were blocked by the black and red energy. Before they could get close to the black and red energy, Night Sorrow felt the horror of the energy. Ai Go Shao Se Ku, this is a spatial turbulence that contains a very strong destructive energy. Saints can't use the power of rules because the destructive element in this spatial turbulence also has the power of rules. Saints can't resist it and can only wait for it to dissipate, Wu Lingfei said. It's really scary. If we go in, we will be destroyed, Night Sorrow said. Actually, this is a bit like a formation, but I don't understand it. But it doesn't matter. During this time, the energy surrounding Clear Sky City has weakened. It's not as strong as before, Wu Lingfei said. Then let's wait until the energy weakens. If there is an opportunity, there will still be one. It's useless to think about it now, Night Sorrow said. Your mentality is good, but it won't work here. It's mainly because of the heaven ceiling hole. Obtaining a title will give you luck. With luck, you can change some things and even rob others of their opportunities. It's always good to go in early, Wu Lingfei said. After listening to Wu Lingfei's words, Night Sorrow understood a little. That was to say, there was still a need to snatch and compete. The lords of the 3 imperial cities were all saint kings. What is a saint king? They are the masters of the saint realm, the kings of the saint realm. It's easy to leave something behind in the cities they are in charge of. So, if you go in first, you have the advantage, Wu Lingfei said. What happened in the War of the Gods? The saint kings disappeared, 2 of the 3 imperial cities disappeared, and 1 was damaged. What kind of battle could be so fierce? Night Sorrow still didn't understand. There's no way to know. The people from back then are all dead, so they didn't leave behind any clues. This is the biggest secret from the ancient times until now. Without the investiture of the gods, the 9 regions world wouldn't have become the 9 regions 18 prefectures. As for snatching opportunities, you have to pay attention to it. Think about it, the pagoda of time and space was found in the destroyed Zhongzhou city. Clear Sky City is an unexplored imperial city. Who knows what kind of opportunities and dangers there are? Wu Lingfei explained the importance of the problem to Night Sorrow. After observing from the periphery, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow back to the island and went to Night Sorrow's tent. We still have to find a way to enter Clear Sky City first. In addition, you have to be careful. This time is different from the time when we went to Taichuan. At that time, we were united against the outside world, so there was no civil war. Now, we are all here to search for treasures. There are no restrictions on fighting, so a battle can happen at any time. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Wu Lingfei left. She explained everything clearly to Night Sorrow. The rest of the problem was left for Night Sorrow to think about by himself. Then, Night Sorrow asked Yang Lei where Yunhuang and Ling Long had gone, because he hadn't seen them since he came back half a day ago. People from the Yun dynasty came, so Yunhuang went to the Yun dynasty to have a look. Ling Long also went to her family and will come back later, Sikong Chuyu said. Well, that's good. Their ancestors will also warn them. Night Sorrow nodded and said. No one knew when Supreme Sky City would officially come into being. Everyone was also waiting. Night Sorrow recalled that the Venerable One from the Night Moon dynasty did not come, which meant that they were one step behind the others. Thinking up to this point, Night Sorrow grew somewhat anxious. After all, there were many things involved. Opportunities, karmic luck and so on were things that Night Sorrow needed. Night Sorrow then went to Wu Lingfei's tent. You're here. Is something the matter? Wu Lingfei asked. This time, the saints and venerables from the various factions have all come, but the people from the Night Moon Empire didn't come. My sixth uncle must also need such an opportunity, said Night Sorrow. That's a problem. You don't have to worry about that. They already know about this, and they're already here. It's just that they're rather secretive, so no one knows about it. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Chapter 702. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/small. Shuanet provides you with wonderful novels to read. They're here. I didn't know about that. Night Sorrow said with some surprise. This matter needs to be kept a secret. After all, the major dynasties don't attack the Night Moon Dynasty. If they fight outside the Night Moon Dynasty, that group of people will do anything. Their leader is also a shameless person, so Xia Changlao has other arrangements. Wu Lingfei explained to Night Sorrow. This arrangement is very good. This way, there won't be any loopholes. Night Sorrow nodded and felt a lot more at ease. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. What did you do in such a hurry? Seeing Night Sorrow return, Sikong Chuyu asked. Yishang smiled and told him about his worries, as well as the news he had received. That's good. You really have a lot of things to worry about. Yang Lei nodded. Night Sorrow had nothing to do, so he settled down and cultivated. Haotian City was not open yet, so it was better to improve his cultivation. Aoi, Yang Lei, and Sikong Chuyu followed the god-slaying team. They practiced combat on the island and collected some resources and materials. This island was very big, and there were many monsters. Night Sorrow meditated and cultivated in the tent, while Tianyu lay outside. Night Sorrow cultivated his foundation at night. During the day, he cultivated his movement skills and spear skills. In addition, he cultivated his compatibility with the Space Splitter Spear. Compatibility was a very important thing. With Night Sorrow's current cultivation, he could only wield a low-level spiritual artifact. Without compatibility, a high-level spiritual artifact would be no different from a normal weapon in his hand. It would just be slightly stronger. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation Fast 7. On March 4th, after cultivating for a few days, Night Sorrow thought that he should pay a visit to Long Xianxing. After all, Long Xianxing had helped him a lot. In addition, Long Xianxing was also the pillar of the Eastern Profound region. Night Sorrow carried the two spears and went to the Eastern Profound domain. After greeting Lei Hua and Kun Nan, he went to Long Xuanqing's tent. Standing in front of the tent, Night Sorrow hesitated for a moment, worried that he might disturb Long Xianxing. Why are you hesitating when you're already here? Long Xianxing opened the tent and walked out. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said, I wanted to pay you a visit, but I was worried that I would disturb your cultivation. It's nothing. Can you use these two high-grade spirit spears? Long Xianxing looked at the reincarnation spear and space-splitting spear on Night Sorrow's back and asked. Love Go Little Say W Chu, one of them is the spear that I've been using since I started cultivating. It's an advanced spear, so it's still compatible with me. As for the other one, I need to cultivate its compatibility with me. Night Sorrow said. I see. I understand now. Long Xianxing nodded. Night Sorrow took out a teapot and began to make tea. Long Xianxing took out a cattail hassock and sat down. Seniors Kun Nan and Lei Hua, come and have some tea too. Night Sorrow greeted them. No need. Give me a jar of your good wine. Lei Hua waved his hand at Night Sorrow. Kun Nan also had the same intention. Since there's wine, we won't have to drink tea. Serve the wine. Long Xianxing said. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, he waved his hand at Tianyu, asking him to go and catch some prey. After that, he took out a few jars of wine and placed them on the table. That mount of yours is incredible. It's at the peak void inquiry stage and it hasn't reached adulthood yet. Its future achievements will certainly be extraordinary. Long Xianqing said after watching Tianyu fly away. It's not just a mount. It's also my partner. It's a partner that will go through life and death with me. Knight Sorrow said. He had never treated Tianyu as a simple mount. That's a good idea. Only by respecting each other will the compatibility be high. Only then can we truly live and die together. Long Xianqing nodded. After a while, Tianyu came back with a gray bear. Knight Sorrow was very fast. After cleaning up, he started a fire and roasted the meat. Knight Sorrow finished roasting the meat and opened the jar of wine. However, when he called Lei Hua and Kuan Nan over, the two of them were unwilling to come over. It was mainly because they were a little reserved because Long Xianqing gave them a lot of pressure. Spirit. How can you achieve great things if you don't have spirit? Long Xianqing glared at Lei Hua and Kuan Nan. That was why Lei Hua and Kuan Nan came over to drink and eat meat. Knight Sorrow was very restrained. He only drank one jar and didn't drink any more. Knight Sorrow, this name is very good. Although you are a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty, you grew up in the Eastern Profound region. Therefore, I have a few words to say. The state of mind and temperament determine one's achievements. The difference between a young man and an experienced man is stability. You have to pay attention to the cultivation of your state of mind. The state of mind is actually more important than your cultivation realm. Seeing that Knight Sorrow had stopped drinking, Long Xianqing said. Junior is a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty, but I also consider myself as a person of the Eastern Profound region. If something happens in the Eastern Profound region, I, Knight Sorrow, will not escape. Knight Sorrow nodded to Long Xianqing and said what was in his heart. It could also be considered as a promise. All right. These words are enough. If you have any doubts or problems in the future, you can come to me. In addition, I will remind you a few words. Don't let the matter of Haotian City affect you. It is really hard to say when Haotian City will appear. It may be 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 years, or even 30 to 50 years. Long Xianqing said. So long. Didn't you say that the energy wrapping around Haotian City is slowly dissipating? Knight Sorrow asked in surprise. That is just the periphery. The space turbulence that really wraps around Haotian City has a trajectory and won't dissipate so easily. However, this is also a good place for cultivation. Alright, go back. Come back if you have something to do. Long Xianqing got up and returned to the tent. Knight Sorrow nodded to Lei Hua and Kuan Nan and returned to the tent on the side of Tianji Tower. After entering the tent and drinking a mouthful of water, Knight Sorrow fell into contemplation. It was hard to say when Haotian City would appear. If he delayed other things while waiting for Haotian City to appear, the gains would not make up for the losses. Thinking of this, Knight Sorrow suddenly felt that Long Xianqing's words were very reasonable. The state of mind was very important. One must be steady at all times. Shaking his head, Knight Sorrow went out of the tent, took out the alchemy furnace, and began to refine pills. Although refining pills would delay the cultivation of true qi and the cultivation of the myriad Tao Tome, it could quickly improve the strength of the soul. The most important point was that Knight Sorrow wanted to strengthen his alchemy skills and enter the realm of alchemy grandmaster. Then, he would be able to refine dragon spirit pills. One must know that dragon spirit pills were very helpful to venerables. It could be said that it was more effective than any spirit stones. Taking out the alchemy furnace, Knight Sorrow used low-grade materials to get the feeling. He had not refined pills for a long time, and it was very important to get familiar with the feeling. After refining a few furnaces of pills, Night Sorrow began to refine Tier 4 pills. He intended to use them to improve his proficiency. Wu Lingfei came and then sat down to meditate. There was no one around Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow did not want to be disturbed when he was refining pills. After refining a few furnaces of Jingxian pills, Night Sorrow went back to refining low-grade pills. He wanted to refine the best low-grade pills, which was also the mark of an alchemy grandmaster. Being able to refine the best pills without pill toxins and Tier 6 pills was the standard of an alchemy grandmaster. Chapter 703. Genius 1 Second Remember Love Go divided by Xiao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Failure. Failure. Failure again. Yi Shang's refinement was refined to perfection. Low-level pills couldn't withstand his refinement. However, he wasn't in a hurry. He found a sense of accomplishment in his failures. He could afford to squander low-level materials. His storage rings were filled with alchemy materials. Baidu search Love Go Female Sign Xiao Shua www.aichux. COM Seeing Night Sorrow's failure, he directly waved his sleeve to clean up the dregs. Then, he continued to refine pills. Wu Lingfei knew what Night Sorrow was doing. She knew that Night Sorrow wasn't doing alchemy for pills, but to improve his alchemy skills. Furnace after furnace of defective pills turned into ashes under Night Sorrow's sleeve. However, Night Sorrow didn't care about this. He found the reason for failure every time, and found the reason for failure to lay the foundation for the next furnace. After more than 20 furnaces of qi refining pills failed, Night Sorrow successfully refined a furnace of top-grade qi refining pills. When the pills came out, Night Sorrow directly threw one into his mouth and then refined it to feel whether there was any pill poison. Persistent. Crazy. This was Wu Lingfei's evaluation of Night Sorrow. She guessed that Night Sorrow didn't notice her coming. He was wholeheartedly focused on alchemy. After feeling for a while and finding that there was no pill poison, Night Sorrow stood up, waved his arm and growled. Can't you drink some tea and then slowly refine? Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, you're here. This matter needs to be done in one go. Feeling is very important. Without feeling, my previous refining experience will be wasted. Night Sorrow said. Yes, why are you thinking about alchemy? Why aren't you practicing spear arts? Wu Lingfei asked. It's like this. Senior Long Xianqing said that we don't know when this Haotian city will appear. It might take a long time. We can't let this matter disrupt our cultivation plan. Night Sorrow explained Long Xuanqing's analysis. Wu Lingfei nodded. That makes sense. In fact, Auntie Fei also noticed that the energy is very condensed. It won't dissipate in a short time. We can't let this matter affect our normal cultivation. I plan to raise my alchemy level and refine the dragon spirit pill. Night Sorrow revealed his plans. You're right. We shouldn't interrupt our cultivation plan because of Haotian City, which we don't know when it will appear. Wu Lingfei felt that she had almost affected Night Sorrow. After drinking some tea, Night Sorrow continued to refine elixirs. After successfully refining the top-grade qi refinement elixir, Night Sorrow continued to refine and strengthen his proficiency. After refining the qi refinement elixir into the top-grade qi refinement elixir, Night Sorrow began to refine the soul-gathering elixir. After failing twice, Night Sorrow also successfully refined the top-grade soul-gathering elixir. After refining 2 furnaces, Night Sorrow went to rest. With such a high-intensity alchemy, Night Sorrow was also very tired. You're going to provide a large number of elixirs to the Night Moon Empire. Wu Lingfei said with some emotion. Yes, and I'm also going to give a batch to the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow said with a smile. The rise of a person will lead the development of the entire sect. The Medicine Valley is really a typical example. Wu Lingfei said. My cultivation path began in the Medicine Valley, so I won't forget the kindness of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow said. /cc4 head square root v hair after drinking tea, Wu Lingfei entered Night Sorrow's tent to cultivate. She was also guarding Night Sorrow and not letting Night Sorrow be disturbed when refining elixirs. After successfully refining the second-grade soul-gathering elixir, Night Sorrow also turned the second-grade materials in his hand into the top-grade soul-gathering elixir. Then Night Sorrow continued to move towards the third-grade soul-congealing elixir to refine the top-grade soul-congealing elixir. Although it was a little difficult, Night Sorrow still succeeded in refining it. Then Night Sorrow continued to refine, turning all the materials into elixirs. After watching Night Sorrow refine a furnace of elixirs, Wu Lingfei said, "Your alchemy skills are really good. The quality of the elixirs is high, and your refining speed is also first class. An alchemy grandmaster is amazing and respected everywhere. There are too few alchemy grandmasters in the 9 regions world. Our Tianji Tower only has 1 alchemy grandmaster." Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, "Some time ago, I fought with several dynasties and robbed a lot of materials. Now, I'm going to improve my proficiency. If my proficiency is higher, I'll fail less when refining the Dragon Spirit Elixir. After all, the materials are too precious, and it's not worth it to lose too much. The difficulty is that I don't have the materials for the beginner 6th grade elixir. If I directly refine the intermediate 6th grade Dragon Spirit Elixir, I don't know how many times I'll fail." Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "You mean the materials for the 6th grade auxiliary elixir, the Origin Spirit Elixir?" "Yes, the Origin Spirit Elixir is an auxiliary elixir for the Supremacy Realm. It's a beginner 6th grade elixir. The Dragon Spirit Elixir is an intermediate 6th grade elixir. The difficulty of refining it is definitely different." Night Sorrow nodded. Wu Lingfei thought for a moment and said, "You might not have the materials elsewhere, but Tianji Tower should have them. How about this?" Auntie Fei will ask. "At worst, you can give the elixirs you refine to Tianji Tower. You just need to improve your proficiency in the refining process. If the Empyrean Extreme Tower has it, that would be the best. I'll practice my alchemy skills a bit more. The failure rate of refining the Origin Spirit Pill should be very low. The Empyrean Extreme Tower shouldn't suffer any losses," said Yishan. Wu Lingfei then left to discuss this matter with Lin Yuandao, Hua Haining, and the others. Currently, Tianji Tower's materials were under Hua Haining's control. He was also an alchemy grandmaster. In the large tent of Tianji Tower, Lin Yuandao and the others were talking. After Wu Lingfei came and sat down, she talked about Night Sorrow's current situation. He can now refine the best quality spirit congealing pill, which is almost the same as my alchemy level. He can refine the Origin Spirit Elixir, but it's not appropriate for him to give all the elixirs to Tianji Tower. Hua Haining said. Ha! Yes. We can't oppress the younger generation, oppress our young master. Guo Xiao also laughed. This bastard boy still doesn't realize that he is the young master, and he doesn't realize the many authorities of the young master. He can directly find Elder Huo for this kind of thing. Lutrin Swan said with a smile. It's mainly based on the fact that he doesn't want to take advantage of anyone, so he's unwilling to open his mouth. This guy also persisted to the extreme. Xiao Lanjun said. Before going to the Supreme River Space, he said that for 20 years, he would look up to the sky and bow his head to the earth. Perhaps this is his philosophy and pursuit. We don't want to change him. As for his sense of belonging to Tianji Tower, you can also feel it. There is no problem. Wu Lingfei said. Well, let's do as Master Wu Kei says. What we need is a young master with strength of character and pride. Xia Longjun expressed her opinion. I'm happy that Tianji Tower has another alchemy grandmaster. You don't have to oppress me in the future. Hua Haining said with a smile. Chapter 704. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then let's go and have a look later. Hua Haining was quite interested. 2 and SN version first V release, where are the materials? Who's going to make the arrangements? This can't be delayed, Wu Lingfei said. That's not a problem. I have the materials for the Spirit of Origin pill in my storage ring. I plan to find some time to refine it. I can give it to him, Hua Haining said. They then arrived at Knight Sorrow's tent. Seniors, why are you all here? Is something the matter? Knight Sorrow looked at them in surprise. Can't I come here for no reason? The main reason is that we heard that our young master is already an alchemy grandmaster, so we came to take a look. Just do what you need to do and pretend that we are not here, Xia Longjun said. Seniors, please take a seat. Knight Sorrow nodded at them. After sorting out his thoughts, he continued to refine. For ordinary people, being watched by the big shots of the Extreme Heaven Tower would make them nervous and likely to fail. However, this didn't exist for Yishang, so he continued to refine his own pills. Furnace after furnace of supreme-grade spirit congealing pills were successfully refined. In the middle, Hua Haining looked at the best-grade spirit congealing pill refined by Knight Sorrow. After looking at it, he nodded with satisfaction, because it was the same as the medicinal pill he refined. Love Go Little Say Kunite Sorrow continued to refine medicinal pills, and bottles of top-grade spirit congealing pills entered his storage ring. It's faster than my refining speed. In 2 hours, this guy has refined dozens of bottles of the best spirit congealing pills. Hua Haining said in a low voice. He has a lot of materials, and now he wants to turn them all into pills, Wu Lingfei said. Knight Sorrow was very engrossed in refining pills and didn't pay attention to Lin Yuandao and the others. However, Lin Yuandao and the others didn't have any intention of leaving. They just sat there and watched Knight Sorrow refine pills. After refining more than 100 bottles of the best spirit congealing pills, Knight Sorrow took out the materials of the rank 4 medicinal pills. After dividing the materials, he began to refine the best rank 4 medicinal pills. Knight Sorrow did not mind his failure. With a wave of his sleeve, he shook off the dregs of the pill and continued to refine. Hua Haining wanted to stop her, but as soon as he stood up, Xia Longjun stopped him. After Knight Sorrow failed, he waved his sleeves and continued to refine. Hua Haining anxiously paced back and forth, because a top-grade 4th-tier pill could only be refined by a mid-tier alchemy grandmaster. However, Xia Longjun glared at him, not allowing him to speak. After failing more than 10 times, Knight Sorrow did not give up. He continued to search for the reason for his failures. After thinking for a while, Knight Sorrow continued to refine. This time, he was much slower. It took him an hour to finish refining, but he did not fail this time. After the medicinal pills came out of the furnace, he put the medicinal pills into the bottle. After Knight Sorrow ate one himself, he meditated and began to refine it. Hua Haining picked up the medicinal pill bottle beside Knight Sorrow, took out a medicinal pill and studied it, then nodded to Lin Yuandao and the others. At this time, Knight Sorrow also stood up. After a long time, this best quality spirit calming pill has finally been refined. From today onwards, you are the #1 alchemy grandmaster of Tianji Tower. This king can only refine the best quality medicinal pills below the 3rd rank. I am powerless to refine the best quality medicinal pills of the 4th rank. Hua Haining said. Elder Hua is too serious. Knight Sorrow said with a cupped fist salute. It's not serious at all. This is the main material and auxiliary material of the rank 6 medicinal pill, Origin Spirit Pill. You can use it to practice your proficiency. Hua Haining took out the materials of the Origin Spirit Pill and then gave them to Night Sorrow. Thank you, but I don't want any medicinal pills. I just want to practice my proficiency. This way, I will have more confidence in refining the mid-rank 6 Dragon Spirit Pill. Night Sorrow said. Take it. In the future, when Tianji Tower lacks medicinal pills, you can help us refine them. This way, our Tianji Tower can cultivate more talents. Xia Lanjun said. That's not a problem. I can refine as long as I have the materials. It won't waste much time. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After drinking tea with Night Sorrow for a while, Lin Yuandao and the others left. However, Wu Lingfei didn't leave. If you have nothing to do, take a rest and refine again. It's okay. It's nothing. Once I practice, I can refine whenever I want in the future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow gave up on the idea of refining top rank 5 medicinal pills because it was unrealistic. Only a high-level alchemy grandmaster could do it. After Wu Lingfei left, Night Sorrow didn't refine any high-rank medicinal pills. Instead, he turned all the materials below rank 5 into medicinal pills. This took 4 days. Feeling a little tired, Night Sorrow stopped refining pills. He practiced his spear arts and drank tea to calm his emotions. Lin Yuandao and the others didn't disturb Night Sorrow. Hua Haining was stimulated because he couldn't understand. He couldn't understand Night Sorrow's situation. Elder Hua, don't you know that there is an ability called talent? Night Sorrow's talent is something that ordinary people can't do. Why are you blindly thinking about it? Xia Lanjun said to Hua Haining, who had been pondering. Talent. This is talent. After listening to Xia Lanjun's words, Hua Haining understood and no longer thought about why he couldn't do it. After resting for a while and sorting out his thoughts, Night Sorrow took the materials of the Origin Spirit Pill and began to refine a rank 6 medicinal pill. After failing on the first try, Yi Shang thought for a moment before continuing. Following this, he succeeded on the second try, which made Yi Shang feel quite confused. He was worried that he had made a mistake, so he took the medicinal pill to Hua Haining to appraise. Hua Haining looked at the medicinal pill and nodded to Night Sorrow. There is no problem with the Origin Spirit Pill. What's the matter? Are you confused? Xia Lanjun looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I succeeded in refining the second furnace. I was worried that I had refined it wrong, so I came to ask Elder Hua. There is no problem with the medicinal pill. Night Sorrow said. Hey! You are hitting people. Just because it was easy to refine, you suspect that you have refined it wrong. If you can refine a top-grade spirit congealing pill, you are an alchemy grandmaster and you can refine the Origin Spirit Pill. If you can refine a rank 4 top-grade medicinal pill, then there will be no problem with refining the Origin Spirit Pill. Hua Haining looked depressed. He rushed to the alchemy grandmaster level, but it took a lot of effort, but Night Sorrow could do it easily. Smiling embarrassedly at Hua Haining and the others, Night Sorrow left the big tent of Tianji Tower. Back in his tent, Night Sorrow continued to refine. After a day, Night Sorrow turned all the materials Hua Haining gave him into Origin Spirit Pill. At this time, he began to refine the Dragon Spirit Pill. These days of refining medicinal pills, Night Sorrow was laying the foundation for refining the Dragon Spirit Pill. He took out the 5-clawed pterosaur blood and then began to prepare the auxiliary materials. After the materials were sorted out, Night Sorrow began to refine. He was very careful. Although he had a lot of materials for the Dragon Spirit Pill, they were too precious. If he failed, it would be a big loss. When Night Sorrow was refining the dragon spirit pill, Wu Lingfei and Hua Haining came over. Hua Haining watched anxiously. He knew what Yi Shang was refining. It was a pill that supremacy cultivators yearn for even in their dreams. One pill could raise one's cultivation by one level. It was absolutely heaven-defying. Night Sorrow was refining very steadily, throwing the materials into the furnace one by one. Time slipped away little by little. After 3 hours, all the auxiliary materials and auxiliary processes were done. Night Sorrow began to fuse, which was the most critical step in refining medicinal pills. Chapter 705. Genius 1 Second Remember Love Divided by Go. Talk Network, providing you with exciting novels to read. At this moment, Hua Haining was even more nervous than Night Sorrow, because he had never heard of anyone who could refine a level 6 middle-grade pill, so the dragon spirit pill was not in circulation. Love Go Little Say Kuan condensing the pill, Night Sorrow was a little impatient and directly exploded the furnace, causing Night Sorrow's entire body to be covered in black. Aunt Fei, Elder Hua, you guys are here. It's a pity that this furnace did not succeed. Night Sorrow wiped the black ash off his face and said with a smile. No problem, you're fine. You were just a little impatient just now. If you were a little more stable, you would have succeeded. Hua Haining understood. Rest for a while, then continue. Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded, then washed his face and brewed tea. He was not prepared to succeed in one try. The first batch was to scout the way. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow continued to refine. With the experience of the first batch, Night Sorrow succeeded on the second batch. Hua Haining took one and looked at it, then nodded. The energy it contains is astonishing, but it's very gentle, there's no problem. I'll give it to Elder Hua. Also, here are the origin spirit pills. Night Sorrow took out the 20 or so bottles of origin spirit pills he had refined and placed them in front of Elder Hua. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs.com. I don't need the dragon spirit pill, you keep it. I'll take the origin spirit pill. To you, the origin spirit pill is useless. Hua Haining did not take the dragon spirit pill. He only kept it. He was a peak venerable, so he naturally did not need energy. His breakthrough required him to comprehend the power of rules. Wu Lingfei and Hua Haining left. Yi Shan found a place with a water source and took a bath. He changed into a new set of robes and returned to his tent. He practiced his spear arts for a while and stretched his body. Looking at the night sky, Night Sorrow went to meditate and cultivate. Since he had succeeded in refining the pill, all he needed to do now was to slowly refine it. After cultivating for a night, the members of the god-slaying team returned. They were all in high spirits, hunting many high-level demonic beasts, and obtaining many medicinal herbs. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow gave Ma Zhuang and the others who had not entered the 5th stage a top-grade rank 4 medicinal pill. After 6 days, Yi Shang had used up a third of the materials. After refining 200 dragon spirit pills, he stopped because this was a very large number. The Medicine Valley only had 2 venerables, so Yi Shang only needed to send some back. The Extreme Celestial Tower gave some, the Night Moon Dynasty gave some, and the Eastern Xian region gave some. What was left was enough for Yi Shang to use. Night Sorrow was much more relaxed now, and he did not think about the problem of refining the pill. Night Sorrow went to the big tent of the Tianji Tower and placed 3 bottles of medicinal pills in front of Lin Yuandao. Here are 30 dragon spirit pills. Master K, you can use them as you see fit. So many. That's great. We have many venerables in the Tianji Tower. Those who have contributed will be rewarded. These dragon spirit pills are the best encouragement, Lin Yuandao said excitedly. If you need anything else, you can look for me, Night Sorrow said. Sigh. Tianji Tower can only help you so much. You have been giving so much. I am ashamed. Xiao Lanjun said with a sigh. She was happy, but at the same time, she was very emotional and worried. Grand Elder is too serious. You gave me the movement technique without asking for anything in return. Since I am a member of Tianji Tower, I will do what I can for Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow said, shaking his head. Night Sorrow then gave Wu Lingfei 3 bottles of dragon spirit pills. Aunt Fei, these are for the Eastern Profound region. You can make the arrangements. I don't need so many. 2 bottles will be enough. Wu Lingfei only put away 2 bottles, then shook her head and said. That's fine. Aunt Fei can look for me if you need anything. Night Sorrow nodded. You are a moving treasure trove. Be careful. Don't get robbed. Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow and said with a smile. I have always been the one robbing others. No one has ever robbed me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with Lin Yuandao and the others for a while, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. As long as he could help Tianji Tower and the Eastern Profound region, Night Sorrow would help. He liked Tianji Tower's people-oriented development strategy. The higher-ups treated and helped the members of Tianji Tower sincerely. As for the Eastern Profound region, it was the place where he grew up. Night Sorrow naturally wanted to see the Eastern Profound region become stronger. When Night Sorrow was drinking tea, Wu Lingfei came. Aunt Fei is here. Otherwise, I would have gone to look for Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow said. Aunt Fei understands your thoughts. Let's go see Evil King Ling, Wu Lingfei nodded at Night Sorrow. She knew that Night Sorrow would definitely give Night Moon Dynasty resources. Then, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow and flew to the back of the island. At the same time, she told Night Sorrow that when Haotian City appeared, Night Moon Dynasty's venerables and Tianji Tower's venerables would act together. However, they were not together at the moment. Tianji Tower felt indebted to Night Moon Dynasty. Therefore, they would do everything they could to help and support them. In a valley, Night Sorrow saw Yiling Xie and a few other old men. Yiling Yuan was also there. When he did not see Yiling Lan, Night Sorrow asked. After asking, Night Sorrow found out that Yiling Lan did not come. He was worried about Sky City. He wanted to go to the heaven-sealing Great Hall in the future. Then, Night Sorrow took out a few bottles of dragon spirit pills and handed them to Yiling Xie. He explained the effects of the pills. Pills that can help venerables increase 1 level. Yiling Xie looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Night Sorrow spent a lot of effort to refine these. It was not easy, Wu Lingfei said. This will be a great help to Night Moon Dynasty. Yiling Xie's hand trembled as he held the pills. Also, I became an alchemy grandmaster. I refined some top-grade pills without pill toxins. 6th uncle, you can distribute them as you see fit. Night Sorrow took out a few storage belts. These were the storage belts that Aoi had given him to store wine. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to distribute his resources. After taking out the storage belts, Night Sorrow explained the classification of the pills. I have to go back. Mistress Wu Kei, I will not accompany you. We can talk later. Yiling Xie cupped his hands to Wu Lingfei and left the colonel. He was anxious to send a portion of the pills to Night Moon's Sea Clan. With this batch of resources, the Night Clan would be even stronger when they left the Night Moon Sea. After exchanging a few words with Yiling Yuan, Night Sorrow, and Wu Lingfei returned to the camp at Tianji Tower. The rest is the Medicine Valley, right? Later, Aunt Fei will help you send the resources to the Medicine Valley, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. She understood Night Sorrow and knew what Night Sorrow was thinking. "Aunt Faye, take this storage belt. When the time comes, arrange for someone to give it to my master." Night Sorrow took out another storage belt. How can such an important resource be given to someone else? If Aunt Faye has nothing to do, then I will go back. What do you plan to do next? Wu Lingfei asked after putting away the storage belt. Most see new chapter Q, section JE and Chapter 706. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. This is a wonderful novel for you to read. When Long Xianqing said that this was a good place to cultivate, Night Sorrow had an idea and planned to enter the realms sea to cultivate. Other places might not be suitable, but this place was. The chaotic space here was very suitable for Night Sorrow to cultivate spatial rend. It was also very suitable for tempering his true qi and myriad Dao's treasured tome. That's a good idea, but it's a little dangerous. If you can't handle it and get sucked in, you'll be in big trouble. Wu Lingfei said worriedly. I'll handle it well. Besides, I have the space-time pagoda to protect me. I'll be fine. Night Sorrow said. That's fine. I'll return to the Eastern Xian region later. I'll help you take care of it. Wu Lingfei said. After saying a few more words to Night Sorrow, Wu Lingfei left. She had to go to the Eastern Xian region to distribute the resources. She also had to return to the Eastern Xian region to take care of Night Sorrow's matter. After Wu Lingfei left, Night Sorrow returned to his tent and sat down to cultivate. It was a little late, and it wasn't suitable for him to cultivate in the realm sea. While cultivating, Night Sorrow felt the density of his true qi. He felt that his foundation was very stable. He took out a dragon spirit pill and swallowed it. Then, he began to cultivate. He wanted to experience the effects of the dragon spirit pill. As soon as the pill entered his stomach, its effects took effect. Night Sorrow used the space-time pagoda to cultivate his soul power and bloodline power. The myriad Dao's treasured tome was naturally cultivated. Night Sorrow used all his strength to refine the dragon spirit pill. Once he started refining, Yishan couldn't stop because he had to completely refine the medicinal strength of the pill. If he didn't refine it, the medicinal strength of the pill would still be emitted, which would be equivalent to wasting it. Night Sorrow continued refining for more than 20 days. When his cultivation base reached the peak of the first level, he could no longer advance. Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. After leaving the tent, Night Sorrow practiced his spear art for a while before sitting down to drink some tea. Feeling his body, Night Sorrow felt that the dragon spirit pill was indeed overbearing. Raising his cultivation by 1 level was not a lie. What he needed to do next was to stabilize his cultivation as much as possible and increase his control over his Jin Qi. While Night Sorrow was drinking tea, the members of the god-slaying squad returned. Yeah, everyone's in good shape, Night Sorrow said. We've been back twice, and you were always in a state of cultivation. It's rare to see you not cultivating, Yang Lei said. Yes, I ate a pill. Refining it will take some time. Baidu search love go xiao shua www.aichuxs. Calm, Night Sorrow laughed. I'll go. Captain, what's going on? Yun Huang looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. He realized that Night Sorrow's cultivation base was at the peak of the first level. I just ate the dragon spirit pill. I used it first to familiarize myself with its medicinal properties. I don't want to spoil you, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Captain is mighty. Ling Long said excitedly. Yeah. I'll give each of you 3 pills, but there are some things I need to make clear. Before you eat the second pill, you need to settle down properly. If you don't settle down properly, Then don't expect to get another pill from me in the future, Ishan said as he looked at Yunhuang and Ling Long. Love go little say W. Chu, Captain, don't worry. When I want to eat the second pill, I'll definitely ask you, Yunhuang promised. At the same time, Ling Long nodded at Yishang. The two of them wouldn't act recklessly in this matter. Refining the pill will take a long time. You're almost done with your training. Go back. Ninth senior sister and Chuyu are also about to break through, Night Sorrow said. When can you go back? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'll cultivate here and see what's going on, Night Sorrow said. Captain, Ling Long and I don't need to go back, right? We can cultivate here in peace. If anything happens, we can deal with it in time, Yunhuang said. Yunhuang voiced his thoughts. He and Ling Long were both venerables. They had to go to Haotian City when it appeared. All right. You too can cultivate here. When you feel that your true qi is condensed and your foundation is solid, go eat the pill. Ling Long's current state is not suitable for the dragon spirit pill, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Then, Night Sorrow took out the airship and let the members of the god-slaying squad board it. He put down the spiritual stones and led the group to the realm sea near Haohai City. It's so convenient to have this thing. Without it, we wouldn't be able to cross the realm sea, Yang Lei said. True. But it's very difficult to make an airship. It's already good to have one, Night Sorrow said. He knew that Wu Lingfei had taken care of him. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult to get one. After sending the group to Haohai City and to the teleportation array, Night Sorrow flew back to the island in the realm sea. Night Sorrow had the Void Fate Pearl to protect his spirit sea. He wasn't afraid of the realm sea's law attacks. Flying the airship was convenient, but Night Sorrow wanted to experience the realm sea. He wanted to enter the realm sea to cultivate. After returning to the camp, Night Sorrow saw that Yunhuang and Ling Long had brought back some wild beasts and were roasting them. Captain is back. The barbecue will be ready soon. Bring out the wine, Ling Long said. Night Sorrow smiled and took out the wine jug. Captain, you can refine level 6 medicinal pills. That means you've become a Grandmaster Alchemist, Yunhuang said to Night Sorrow. The Dragon Spirit Pill is a mid-level level 6 medicinal pill. Logically speaking, I should be a mid-level Grandmaster Alchemist, Night Sorrow said. Captain, you're amazing. We won't have to worry about medicinal pills in the future, Ling Long said with a smile. After drinking the wine, Night Sorrow told Yunhuang and Ling Long about the importance of their foundation. Then, he flew toward the edge of the realm sea. Arriving at the edge of the realm sea, Night Sorrow calmed his mind and charged towards the area where the chaotic flows of space were rampant. There was no danger in a place without chaotic flows of space, so there was no point in tempering himself. After leaving the edge of the realm sea for some distance, the turbulence appeared. Night Sorrow put up a protective barrier and continued to approach the so-called location of Haotian City. Because they were close to Haotian City, the turbulence was effective for Night Sorrow. As he went deeper into the realm sea, the turbulent energy of the turbulence began to pressure and erode Night Sorrow's protective barrier. Using his movement technique, Night Sorrow sliced back and forth in the spatial turbulence. As he cultivated his movement technique, he honed his cultivation. Thanks to Night Moon's experience in cultivating the spatial rend, Night Sorrow was able to move through the turbulence with ease. His mutated protective barrier had incredible cutting power, and all he could cut through were the cracks in the turbulence. Feeling that he had used up too much energy, Night Sorrow returned to the edge of the realm sea. 5. I start After thinking for a moment, Night Sorrow found a large piece of dead wood and placed it in his storage ring. When he felt the need to rest, he would have the space-time pagoda land on the wood and enter it to recover. That way, he wouldn't have to go back and forth. After recovering for a bit, Night Sorrow headed back into the realm sea. This time, he went deeper into the chaotic flows of space to work on his movement technique and spear technique. At the same time, he tempered his own true energy, which had just risen to new heights. Chapter 707. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? I'll provide you with a wonderful novel to read. Wu Lingfei had returned a few days ago. She had sent the resources that Night Sorrow had given to the Medicine Valley to Yu Yangyu and told him about the dragon spirit pills. After receiving the resources from the Medicine Valley, Wu Lingfei made some arrangements for the Eastern Xian region. She also sent out a portion of the dragon spirit pills. Qi Nan and the Bloodstrike Guard commander were both venerables. They needed to increase their strength. After making arrangements for the Eastern Xian region, Wu Lingfei went to the Eastern Xian region's camp on the island and gave Lei Hua, Kun Nan, and the others a few dragon spirit pills. Not bad. This little guy is really good. He really wants to help the Eastern Xian region. Long Xianqing said after learning that Night Sorrow had taken out the dragon spirit pills. Wu Lingfei nodded. She was very moved. As the Eastern Xian region's domain lord, she naturally wanted to see the Eastern Xian region rise. Night Sorrow had done this to give the Eastern Xian region a chance. This is an opportunity for the Eastern Xian region. It's a good thing. How's the little guy doing? Long Xianqing asked. He's already a mid-level alchemy grandmaster. I just returned and haven't seen him yet. Wu Lingfei said. What he needs the most is stability. Although it's a chaotic world, we can't put all the pressure on a child. Let him take his time. Long Xianqing said. When Wu Lingfei went to see Night Sorrow had already started cultivating in the domain sea. The energy in the spatial turbulence was very terrifying. It was the most violent of all kinds of energy. Anything that came close would be annihilated. Night Sorrow used his spatial energy shield to constantly cut and dodge in the spatial turbulence. Even so, the energy in the spatial turbulence was still very strong against his protective energy shield. Every time his bloodline's energy was almost exhausted, Night Sorrow would use his void attribute defensive energy shield. Night Sorrow noticed the difference between the two types of spatial chi shields. The bloodline energy shield was a little faster, but it consumed a lot of energy. The void chi barrier's cutting power wasn't as strong as the space chi barriers, but its ability to resist attacks was much stronger. It could even be said that it was twice as strong. The only positive are version, Bichia his E and all % are pirated U version. Night Sorrow understood that this was the difference between the supreme attribute and the advanced attribute. The void attribute suppressed the other attributes. No matter what attribute it was, it could not suppress or restrain it. Even the destruction attribute could not do so, so the consumption was small. What Night Sorrow wanted to hone was his true chi, so every time he used up his true chi and innate bloodline energy, he would recover them. When Wu Lingfei saw that Night Sorrow was not in danger, and that he was immersed in cultivation, she sat down at the edge of the realm sea and began to cultivate as well. After cultivating for 2 days, Night Sorrow had a new idea. While he was sharpening his true chi and bloodline talent, he could use the myriad Daos tomes energy to attack the spatial turbulence. When he recovered, the 3 types of energy could be recovered at the same time. This way, he would be able to increase his strength at the same time. As for soul power, Night Sorrow had Little Kong assist him in his cultivation. As he became more familiar with the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow could go deeper and deeper, and his true chi cultivation base grew more and more condensed. This situation made Yi Shang very happy. Although his cultivation base did not increase very quickly, it was the most stable way to cultivate. It could be said that he had strengthened his foundation. As he cultivated in the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow's speed increased even with the use of his void attribute energy shield. Although he couldn't cut through the spatial turbulence like a void attribute energy shield, he still had the ability to melt through it. Night Sorrow was very interested in cultivating, and he didn't feel tired at all. He felt that this was the best way to improve his overall strength. Because he needed to use his soul strength to search for weak spots in the spatial turbulence, it consumed a lot of soul strength. That meant he could improve quickly. Night Sorrow felt that it was the most suitable cultivation method for him to improve all of his abilities. Wu Lingfei didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she saw Night Sorrow enter the realm sea. However, she knew that this was Night Sorrow. He was stubborn and tenacious. After cultivating for a month and a half, Night Sorrow had gone dozens of kilometers into the spatial turbulence. He could go anywhere he wanted, mainly because his movement technique had improved greatly. He felt that he should go back and see how Yin Huang and Ling Long were doing. In addition, he felt that Yi Lingxie should also be back. He also wanted to know how Night Moon's people were doing. Wu Lingfei, who was meditating, also stood up when she sensed that Night Sorrow had returned. "You went in for so long. Don't you know how to come out and rest?" Wu Lingfei glared at Night Sorrow. "The cultivation effect is strong, so I plan to improve myself more. How is the situation in the Medicine Valley? Is there any movement outside?" Night Sorrow asked. "Everything is good now." The appearance of Haoyan City diluted some disputes and interests. Everyone's eyes are on it. However, as they investigated, they found that the spatial turbulence outside Haoyan City is very solid. It has no intention of dispersing on its own, Wu Lingfei said as she led Night Sorrow to the camp. Long Xianxing was right. We can't delay other things because of this. We have to cultivate as we should. Yi Shang said. That's right. How are you now? Wu Lingfei asked. I can hold on for a while after entering the spatial turbulence. I plan to observe Haoyan City from a close distance, but I can't do it, Night Sorrow said. You really dare to dream. The spatial turbulence contains violent energy and destructive energy. You still want to get close to Haoyan City. It's too dangerous. Don't mess around. Wu Lingfei turned around and looked at Night Sorrow. She was really worried that Night Sorrow would be so daring that he would dare to do anything. I went a few dozen kilometers deeper from the area where I stood with Auntie Fei last time. There is no problem with safety. My void energy shield can withstand it, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The void energy shield can indeed ignore the corrosion of all kinds of energy, but you have to leave some leeway for yourself. You must leave enough energy to return. Otherwise, you will be caught off guard, Wu Lingfei said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, she understood why Night Sorrow could withstand it. It was because Night Sorrow's attributes were higher than the attributes in the spatial turbulence. There was no such thing as suppression or restraint. My cultivation base is low. If my cultivation base was high enough, I would be able to pass through the turbulent flow of space. However, it's good to consolidate your cultivation base in the turbulent flow of space. It can make your cultivation base more solid, said Yi Shang with a smile. Your situation is really special. Auntie Fei can't give you any advice, but you must remember that safety is the most important thing, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Auntie Fei, don't worry. I plan to go to Night Moon Dynasty's camp to see if my sixth uncle has brought back any news, Night Sorrow said as he looked in the direction of Yi Lingxie and the others. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.